Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Sorry, I'm 10 minutes late. I woke up at 9:30. So I'm like, wait a second. There's a game day. I think the time change had me sleeping a little bit longer than normal, partly because time changes mess y'all up. I mean, I'm sure a lot of y'all feel messed up this Monday morning, going to work or doing whatever you're doing this morning as far as the time change. So I guess I slept even more. I guess I don't know. I don't understand it. It should be like 10:41 old time. I've been trying to figure this out, and the more I figured it out, is that we actually are going to play so late tonight compared to what we normally play because it's fall back. So technically, we're playing tonight at like 10 p.m. Eastern, I believe, is the set time to play in Denver tonight, and that would mean that we're playing at 11 p.m. Last week. So it's like a 4 hour difference from when we normally play. This is fantastic for the young development. Yes, it is. It's fantastic for the young development. These guys got to know what the NBA schedule is like as far as dealing with time change and flying to the Western Conference to play teams like Denver tonight. So yeah, y'all are playing at 11 p.m. tonight, y'all. Yeah, some people gonna be falling out trying to watch this game tonight. West Coast trips always like this, so it's gonna be a little bit later. And getting up to do the grind of this stream is maybe some a little bit difficult also at the same time. So if I apologize for being late. I hope that the team isn't late to get to the game tonight, as far as to their spots or starting the game like they have in the last week, a couple of these games. So yeah, don't be like me, Raptors. I feel bad getting up right at 9:30 this morning. That's really bad. Really bad. But I got set up in 10 minutes. That's pretty good. All right, let's get into it. We'll do the injuries first. Raptors do have some injuries right now still, of course. Scotty Barnes is going to the specialist today to go look at his orbital fracture. Uh, Hopefully it's not a fracture. And getting assessed for whether he needs surgery or not. Now, this will be a key day to find out stuff about Scott and what's going on with him. Of course, we've seen him on the bench the last two games with glasses over his eye. We've seen the eye. It seems somewhat swollen up, but not swollen shut like it might have been on Tuesday last week after we played the Nuggets last Monday. And this is the thing, man. This is Jokic. This is the guy who actually thwacked Scott in the face with his limb to make him be out right now. I don't know. Do these guys want to feel like any receipts? Does this talk about enforcers on this Raptors team? Is there anybody out there that will step up in this Cobra Kai situation and take out the Serbian Johnny Lawrence for smacking Scotty Barnes in the face, Scotty LaRusso in the face? Come on, somebody got to do this. Can somebody do this? Mobo, you got a personal stake in this. Do you think you can avenge your friend Scott with a thwack to the face of the big, ugly dummy Jokic? We know Jokic is protected by Darko. Darko would not endorse or be okay with anybody hitting the dirty hitting Nikola Jokic tonight, but I just got to wonder about this underlying storyline. Will receipts be seen on the court tonight in any kind of way? Any kind of way, I'm just wondering. That's a very interesting thing. Kelly Olynyk is out again today, and he's a few weeks away. Man, Kelly, come on, bro. Don't Otto Porter us, bro. Come on, man. Get back, Kelly. You're one of us. You're so proud of Vince Carter and the retirement of his jersey this weekend as a kid who grew up in Scarborough. Come on, bro. Come back. Come back. Come back, Kelly. We need you. Seriously. Seriously. I'm not going to say Kelly Olynyk isn't a great part of this team and somebody that we need healthy. We do need him healthy. It's not like he's just an extra. We need him for the front court depth. If we don't have Kelly Olynyk out there, man, in some ways after Jakob Poeltl, it gets a little scary like we talked about this weekend. So, Kelly, please get your back right. Emmanuel Quickley is doubtful for tonight, but he is traveling with the team. So he could be activated at any point on this 5-game road trip, which is very interesting and weird. We play Denver tonight. We go and play both the LA teams. We play Sacramento, and then we have to play Milwaukee on the swing back in that Milwaukee game next Tuesday. is an in-season tournament game on yesterday, starting tonight, is actually has the end of it an in-season tournament game before we even come home. So we got to play Milwaukee before we come back in-season tournament. Bruce Brown is out still recovering from his knee surgery also. My speculative starting lineup for the Toronto Raptors tonight is Davion Mitchell, Grady Dick, RJ Barrett, Oshai Abaji, and Jakob Poeltl. Although Mobo, Abaji, somewhere in there. Although Abaji has been so good lately, he's a bona fide starter. You know, Mobo's not a bad fill-in starter here and there, but I don't know if he should be starting every single night. In some ways, the things he does really help the Raptors bench, and I value that a lot. Abaji's did his time. Abaji's been on the escalator before Jonathan Mobo as far as getting into the rotation deeper or more minutes or earning a starting spot. You know, so all in due time. If there's a natural progression of succession on a team, Abaji should be the one who starts tonight. But we'll see. Maybe Mobo's in there just for size reasons because of Jokic, Gordon, and Michael Porter Jr. Degenerate family. Yeah, degenerate family. All right, on the Denver side, it's a lot different over there, guys, than when we saw them last week. They have names on this list. They didn't last week. Deron Holmes is still out. The young man is still out. It's sad they acquired him, and then he's been hurt since. Vlatko Kankar is doubtful for today's game against the Raptors. It's his ankle. I don't think Kankar even played last Monday, and he was available. Aaron Gordon is listed on the injury list this morning. He's probable for the game, so he's likely to play. It's his knee/calf that is affecting Aaron Gordon right now. And this is the big one right here, guys. No Jamal Murray tonight. Jamal Murray suffered a concussion in a game recently, and he is ruled out for tonight's game due to concussion protocol. So our kid from Kitchener will not be suiting up against the Raptors tonight. So you won't be seeing Jamal go against his hometown team tonight. So, yeah, that's a plus. Because if you ask me, last week, it took both Murray and Jokic to overpower the Raptors in overtime, just barely. So this is a huge thing. If Jamal Murray's not available, the Nuggets have looked very thin at bench, and there are problems right now. There's articles on ESPN talking about the structure of their team with their salary and their personnel, and wasting the prime of Nikola Jokic because they're just not what they were 2 years ago when they won a championship. So this is very interesting. Without Jamal Murray out there, that's a problem. We've seen them get feisty in the last week too. Russell Westbrook continues to get into altercations. This one was centered around Christian Brune a little bit. Russell letting Rudy know what's up. A lot of smack talking. The Denver Nuggets are feisty. I think part of it is an extension of their coach and his personality. I think part of it is also they're struggling and they're having issues with winning this year so far. So very, very interesting stuff in Nuggets land. There's a lot of not totally cool things happening, and there's a lot of worry and a lot of what is going on with our team from Nuggets Nation right now. So we'll have to see what happens tonight. I would like to see the Raptors come in tonight and say, yeah, we owe you one. We shouldn't have let you win last Monday in Toronto in overtime when old Lex was at the game. No, we should have beat your ass. We should have sealed the deal. And in some ways, we want to show our Coach Darko, the development and progress we've made just in a week with understanding what it takes to win a game against a high-level team like the Denver Nuggets. You know, RJ Barrett and Grady Dick showed a lot on Saturday night against the Sacramento Kings, taking it home for us, hitting clutch shots and stuff like that. Well, let's see what we can do tonight, gentlemen. Jokic has been stymied to a certain amount by Poeltl. I mean, I say that, but Jokic still gets like a triple-double or 40 points or something like that. But you got to understand, without Poeltl out there, it's just a free lunch for Nikola Jokic. So Poeltl is a very key player tonight to try and negate the greatness of the great Serbian Nikola Jokic. So, yeah, that's the injury latest lineup news right there, man. No Jamal Murray. So looking at their bench, it's probably likely that they'll start Russell. Russell could be starting tonight in his place. Aaron Gordon's going to play. I don't think he's going to sit out. So that's all right. Let's do the refs. The refs are a little bit problematic today. But they could be worse. Two out of three ain't bad. Is that what I'll say? Maybe. Our crew chief tonight is Drake lover Mitchell Irvin. It's kind of weird that he's coming in after this stupid game with Drake on Saturday. Honestly, I think the consensus is in. All right, this is what's up, Drake. I'm going to tell you right now, Global Ambassador. The fans, the real fans, the Toronto Raptors fans are rejecting you right now on social media. They're saying, you know what? If we got to choose between you and DeMar DeRozan, we're going with DeMar because DeMar has done way more for this city than you have for the team. Yeah, for the Raptors. He's done way more for the Toronto Raptors than you have, Drake. And in some ways, we're sick of your shit. And just because you have a personal little feelings hurt, butt hurt thing about Kendrick Lamar's video this summer, it's just a video, man. And half of what y'all do is in fairy tale land anyway. Drake is what I'm saying here. And if you are at any level, like Puff Daddy, you're a gross, disgusting person, is what I'm going to say right now. So, yeah, a lot of Raptors Nation is rejecting Drake right now and siding with DeRozan, and rightfully so. There's some people that are still Drake sexuals that are standing with Drake because they just want to live his lifestyle in a make-believe world. They think they do. They think they do live his lifestyle with, ghosting women and being in their feelings and sitting by a phone call and thinking, oh, you used to call me on the phone call. Oh, yeah, whatever, you Drake lovers. And Mitchell Irvin, I'm sure that you loving Drake, you must be embarrassed this year with some of the stuff he's been doing right now. But it is say his favorite musician is Drake. His 10th season in the NBA, number 27 out of New Orleans. Mitchell Irvin is our crew chief. He does like the show Martin, which is a fantastic show. His favorite movie is Coming to America. His favorite book is Between the World and Me. He likes to eat char-grilled oysters. His favorite app is TikTok. He most like to visit Africa, and his bucket list is skydiving. Yeah, Mitchell Irvin is normally a very, very good ref for the Raptors. But in the last 2 years, he's been bad for us. Like when I first started doing the ref report, he has rated refs in the favor of the Raptors, and he has plummeted on our spreadsheet over the last 2 years. Mitchell's resume includes 8 years of collegiate officiating experience with assignments in the Big 12, Conference USA, Sun Belt, and other conferences. He refereed 6 years at the high school level in New Orleans and Houston. Yeah, his splits are interesting. I was thinking, man, he's going to be in favor of the Raptors because historically he has been, but he's not tonight. We win 53% with Mitchell Irvin. The Nuggets win 65%. So it's 53 to 65 for the Nuggets tonight with the crew chief, Mitchell Irvin, and winning percentages in history with these teams. All right, the second ref is probably starting to become my most hated ref, the ref that I like the very least in the whole entire league. He's back, and he's going to be the first referee that we see twice this season. We haven't seen any refs repeat it until tonight, and it's Murat Kugat. Yeah, Murat Kugat is back again, the Ukrainian ref in his 16th season out of Brooklyn, New York, number 32, like Magic Johnson. Favorite movie, Catch Me If You Can. Favorite TV show, Family Guy. Favorite musician, Queen. Favorite meal, Neapolitan pizza. Favorite book, The Happiest Man on Earth. Favorite app, Amazon. See, there's another reason to hate Kugat. Most like to visit Croatia. His hidden talent is magician. Yeah. Man, this guy is the worst, man. I'm going to tell you that right now. His officiating experience includes 3 years in the WNBA, 4 years in the G League, and Kogat also refereed in several NCAA Division I conferences. Yeah, Kogat is the worst veteran ref in the NBA for us, man. He's 14 years, and he has the lowest percentage of any of the refs that have over 10 years in this league. We win 35% of our games, and we lost our first game this year where he was present and refereeing. So we've already gone down with that percentage this year. Meanwhile, the Nuggets win 58% of their games when he is present. So that's messed up. 35 to 58, the split for the Nuggets with the second ref, that piece of shit, Murat Kogut. Yeah, I hate that guy so much, man. I really do. I really do hate him. The third ref is Matt Myers, number 43 in his 7th season out of St. Louis, Missouri. His favorite TV show is The Wire. He likes the movie The Shawshank Redemption. He gets down to Jay-Z. Favorite book, A Promised Land. His favorite meal, buffalo wings. He likes to play words with friends. He'd most like to visit Bora Bora and attend the Masters, and his hidden talent is golf. Matt Myers has a scuba certification. The past summer, he completed a dive in Zanzibar. He also went on a safari in the Serengeti National Park in Tanzania. So, yeah, Matt Myers ain't Raptors today. He is the best ref for the Raptors. But it is even. Both the Nuggets and the Raptors win 2 out of 3 of their games when he is present. Both are 67% exactly. But yeah, Matt Myers is the top 5 ref for the Raptors right now. He has one of the top 5 highest percentages out of all the referees that call games right now. He's top 5 as far as our winning percentage. Well, I hope that that can continue to go up tonight. And let's really watch Kugat. He's going to be very, very unfair, especially since we're in Denver tonight. So very much ref manipulation fans that are watching and learning how referees manipulate the game, put a big fat bullseye on the magician and watch for his sleight of hand, because I'll bet you'll catch him and how he does his magic tricks if you pay attention close enough. That's right. There's your ref crew. It's not a good one for the Raptors tonight. I'll say that. Matt Myers, you're cool. Mitchell Irvin, you used to be cool. Hopefully you can be cool again tonight. And Kugat, just fuck you, man. That's what I want to say on that one. Just fuck you. There you go. All right, there's a part of the setup for tonight. Let's see what else we got going on in the chat today. Good to see everybody on a Monday morning or early November after the time change. That's right. We got a 5-game road trip, y'all. And these are rites of passages for young men like Jamal Shed, Jacoby Walter, and Jonathan Mobo. And hopefully these young rookies will continue their accelerated progress and development under Darko's system. Because, yeah, tonight's a great opportunity to get some get back. Is Jamal Shed from Houston's Cougars in university taking score? Is he keeping track? In some ways, there's been allusions to this in interviews in the past week that we're going to get to play some teams that we just recently played that beat us. We need to get back. Okay, James Brown, the big payback. Let's get on it. Last time I talked about James Brown and the big payback, it was against the Nick Nurse and the Sixers, and we got that payback. So maybe we can get some payback tonight for Scotty's orbital bone. That's right. That's right. We'll have to see. Trevor J's here first. Commissioner of Fun, Trevor J, thank you for being here. When you forgive, you don't change the past, you change the future. Wow. So if I forgive Vince, it won't change anything, but it'll change the future. I kind of already feel like this. I think that the purple on that banner, how classy it is, the reactions we're getting from people around the league. Like I said, there's an overwhelmingly positive reaction to what the Raptors did on Saturday night with Vince Carter. And people are really speaking very highly of our organization for it. And in some ways, that's really cool. In some ways, I'm getting a little proud about it. In some ways, I had a problem maybe a month ago with the idea of a Vince Carter jersey retirement banner being above my head in our arena. But you know what? In some ways, I've come to grips with this. This is what you do in your life when you can't control it. You have to accept life on life's terms. You got to accept the reality of the situation. And the situation is MLSE and the Raptors have retired Vince Carter's 15. As much as some people don't like it and don't want it, well, that's what it is. This is what Vince is saying. Well, if you don't like it, well, it's up there, splattered all over the jersey. Well, you know what, Vince? To me, hating you is not that important to me. In some ways, beloving you and being, oh, Vince is the greatest, that's not important to me either. So I'll just be neutral at this point. I recognize the Eric Carter effect is an important part of the Raptors' history. He's an important part of history of the NBA with his dunking and the amazing contributions he did in exhibition. But you know what? I don't have to be mad at it, and I don't have to be overly glad about it either. I can just be like, yeah, it happened. That's great. In some ways, we're building history and culture for our team. That's the part that I can get behind. So it doesn't matter that it's him. I'm not mad about it. I'm okay with it. And I look forward to seeing more of them go up with people that I will really feel strongly about in a very positive way. So that's how I'm standing on this at this point. Yeah, it's a weird situation, the jersey retirement, how things have gone. So yeah, I've forgiven him. I'm okay with it. And you know what? I'm at this point, it's like it's old news already to me. Yeah, moving on, changing the future. That's right, Trevor J. Let's go. Happy game day. Let's go, Raptors. That's right. Trevor's saying NBA had Oshai's dunks highlights top 10 playoff of the play of the night at number 3 and number 7. So Oshai had 2 dunks. He had the alley oop from Grady, which was badass. I'm going to guess that was number 3. And then his two-handed dunk all alone in the lane, where he had the opportunity, honestly, to do a little bit of a Vince Carter tribute in that moment, but he didn't. He didn't want to screw up the basket, and it would have looked bad if he had not made it. A lot of pressure on that. But he did have a breakaway and the ability to probably throw down some sort of Vince Carter dunk just in tribute to him in the Vince Carter game, but he didn't opt to do that. But that dunk got 7th on the top 10 plays of the night for the NBA. That's fantastic. I love hearing that we're getting more Raptors highlights exhibited on the NBA top 10 plays of the night. We heard that RJ was number 1 the other day last week. So, Trevor, you keeping on tabs on this is very nice. I appreciate that, because when I watch those top 10 plays of the night, I always get pissed off in the past because the Raptors would not be included. Well, it's good to hear that they are being included more often now. That's fantastic. And Oshai did get on there twice. Wow. Good job. Good job. Cowboys here. Good morning, Lex and Rap Freaks. Tap to you, Cowboy. Bradley on the Monday morning. That's right. Ta-da. We win in tonight. Raptors are revving up their engines like Boucher. Let's go. Raptors win by 9 plus tonight. Well, I would say this. If you guys really want to get revenge on the Nuggets, you better build a nice, thick, double-digit maple syrup lead. Like, build it and pour on that syrup thick and get that lead as big as possible, because what we saw last Monday is this team is going to battle to try and come back and overtake you by the end of the game with their guile and experience from many years of playing together. And that's what happened last Monday. So if you guys want to do this, don't let them get close to you, and don't let Kugat try and manipulate them to win over you near the end of the game with some crazy-ass ref calls. In some ways, we need to watch how many free throws people are getting tonight once again, just like that Lakers game. That's the biggest bullshit, man. The free throws are one of the biggest ways the NBA refs manipulate games. And if there's a huge free throw attempt discrepancy, well, I'm calling it right now this morning. Let's see what happens tonight. Make it fair, Mitchell Irvin. And don't listen to that crazy Ukrainian ref that's in the middle with you guys. No, don't listen to that guy. That guy's a douche, man. Douchebag. That's right. Trevor's saying music icon 7. That's sad. That is sad to hear. Quincy Jones is, of course, a musical icon. Somebody who was responsible for some major, major records. Him working with Michael Jackson in the 80s, making Thriller a very, very huge record. Quincy Jones, of course, his daughter is Rashida Jones, who used to be on The Office, on U.S. Office. And yeah, Quincy was a musical genius. Quincy had albums himself that he made that were in the genre of jazz. And I'm sad to hear about the passing of great musical icon Quincy Jones. There's a great song by Nas that came out in the last 2 years called Quincy and Michael. And it's a very nostalgic throwback song. Nas still has it, man. That dude has the best bars in the business, even at his age right now. So if you see anything new by Nas out there, yeah, pick it up. But yeah, that song, Quincy and Michael, is a sweet, beautiful tribute, and y'all need to listen to it today in honor of Quincy Jones. So go look up Quincy and Michael by Nas and listen to that today. Seriously, it'll give you a whole feel of what the man Quincy Jones was like. Other than listening to that, go listen to actual Quincy Jones too. Go find some of his old great jazz albums, and also listen to some Michael Jackson. Why not? Listen to some Thriller, to some Billie Jean. And that's it. Yeah. To the Points video is out, freaks. All right, guys. Thank you, Brian, for putting out some more content this morning. So check out King's latest video this morning. He had, I guess he filmed yesterday, and it's out this morning. So yeah, we want to support To The Point. So y'all come out there and check him out and give him a subscription. Yeah, I was late, y'all. Sorry I was late, y'all. Cowboy saying, let's go to the point. Good morning, Trevor J. That's right. Good morning, Cowboy. Fusey saying, morning, fam, and happy game day, payback time. Let's get a dub on the Nuggets home court. Yeah, you know, the last times, man, when we play the Nuggets, it seems like it's so screwy. Like, of course, Scott going out in 2 different games has been a big, huge effect on whether we could win or not at the last couple minutes. You know, Scott getting thrown out by Scott Foster, Scott getting elbowed by Nikola, you know, it sucks. But listen, we got a hero named RJ Barrett. And Grady Dick is like a sidekick, kind of in some ways. We got Batman and Robin. Let's go, Batman and Robin. And let's go do it for Superman, who got clocked in the face. So let's go, Batman and Robin. Maybe we should name all the Raptors if they were superheroes. Who would they be? I know, Grady, you're probably not wanting to be Robin, but you are a boy wonder right now. And you'll grow up to be Nightwing at some point. But yeah, some ways it's like RJ's Batman and Scotty's Superman. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, Superman got knocked in the face by a big dummy Lex Luthor, Nikola Jokic. And well, we got to get revenge for this. So Batman and Robin, go take care of business today. Is what I'm saying right now. That's right. That's right. Yeah, great words of wisdom. Fiercey. Andrew's here. Raptor Freak Rookie of the Year. Andrew is in the house. Morning, everyone. Hope y'all are doing well. Anyone know when IQ will come back? I think it's imminent. I think it's actually imminent. It seems like this has been too long already, honestly, for the injury that happened. But once again, as people are talking about this year, we want everybody to be 100% before they come back. And it could very well be, in other alternate realities or universes, Emmanuel Quickly's been back already because it wasn't that bad. But they're really, really babying it. They really want to make sure he's absolutely as ready to come back as possible. So I think that he will be back in the next 3 days, next 3 games, I should say, not next 3 days. Yeah, I think he'll be back for one of the LA games, and we'll see. I don't think he'll be back tonight, but who knows? Maybe he is back tonight. But I think he's very close. He's very close, Andrew. I think that IQ is very, very close to stepping back on the court for the Toronto Raptors. That's right. Fiercey saying hi to Cowboy. Let's see. Fiercey saying, hang on, it jumped. Let me make sure I don't miss anybody's comments this morning. So good to see so many names in the chat this morning. Let's see. Ed Andrew, unfortunately, no idea, but I believe he's still out tonight. He's officially, the word is next to his name that he is doubtful. He's doubtful. So doubtful isn't as good as questionable or probable, but he's doubtful. He's like we'll figure it out. We'll see. I get the feeling he's going to be back sooner than you think because he has been practicing, just so y'all know. Let's see. Nako's here. Good to see Gerald. I want to know when Bruce is coming back. Dude seems like he likes it here and is a good locker room guy. Yeah, I've gone all over the place with Bruce Brown. In some ways, it was maybe because the initial trade, getting him back instead of people like Mathurin or Nebhard made me think, wow, this trade sucks. And it's just Bruce Brown. That's not really fancy or exciting. And then we kind of rejected him in the beginning. We're like, yeah, just trade him. We don't need Bruce Brown. We talked trash about him a lot last year. And then this summer, he showed up to the extension press conference for Scotty and Emmanuel. And he showed a real dedication with Raptors team events and being there and being participating and being involved that I've changed my opinion on him to a degree that, I like him because he's showing the real dedication to the team. He's being ultimate professional, even if he's been in a very awkward spot for most of this year as far as, am I actually going to be here? And should I put any kind of roots in the ground in any kind of way with the Raptors organization? Or should I be keeping my bags packed and ready to jump on a plane to another team at a moment's notice? That's got to be very difficult. And in some ways, some people would sow seeds of resentment being in that kind of a questionable position, especially with your fans respectful towards you too, in some ways also. So I've gained more and more respect for Bruce Brown as he's been a Raptor, especially the longer he's around. Because you're right, Gerald. He does seem like he does really genuinely enjoy being on this team. He is a really good teammate, and he has been helpful in the locker room. Jacoby Walter did mention Bruce Brown as one of the voices in his ears on the bench while he's been hurt, teaching him the NBA game. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know when Bruce is going to come back. I'd like to see him come back soon, and I'd like to see if he comes back fully healthy and fully Bruce Brown. We didn't see full Bruce Brown last year. We saw half hurt Bruce Brown the whole time since he got traded to our team. And well, if the surgery is successful, he heals properly and comes back, there should be a different level of play that we see him play at. There should be a different level of play because in some ways he was kind of meh when he played for us in that really kind of weird part of the year last year after Scotty and Jakob got hurt. He was kind of like, and I don't know if it was those other guys rubbing off on him. I don't know if it was like the newness and trying to get adjusted and just being in Toronto. there was a lot that Bruce did was kind of but if he's healthy and he's understanding the system and he's more connected with the players on our team now, maybe he has a whole different kind of look to him when he's healthy and he returns to the lineup this year. So I'm hoping for this. I really am, Nako. I really am hoping that for this. And who knows? He may come back and he'll fit and he'll do really well. And then all of a sudden we finally trade him. I don't know. It's such a weird situation for him. But I have to give him all the credit in the world. In fact, he's a great example of how you deal with a difficult, unknown, kind of like not totally set in stone situation, Vince Carter, and you deal with it with grace and professionalism in the right way is what I'll say right here. Bruce Brown, you are doing that. And honestly, I didn't expect that. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know the dude when we traded for him, but now I do. And there's a lot of respect for Bruce Brown Jr. That's right. Brian's here. Good to see King is here after dropping his new content this morning. What's up, Freak Nation? Hope y'all got to watch To The Point this morning, but we're here for Lex, and let's hope the Raps dig up some gold nuggets in Denver tonight. Yeah, there you go. You guys remember that old gum candy, the Nuggets gold candy? Like it came in a little burlap sack, and you open it up, and they were little, like they were gum, but they were like yellow gold nuggets. And you'd be like, I got gold in here. I'm a prospector. You're a little kid and you're like walking around like Yosemite Sam. I'm a prospector, you know, and you got gold and then you could eat them. You'd be like, let me check the gold, how tough it is. And you like people biting into a nugget, but then you bite through it and then it's gum all of a sudden. Yeah, I love that Nuggets gum. It was so good. Oh, man, nostalgia. So good. Yeah, I hope we do beat them tonight too. And y'all check out To The Point. I haven't watched it yet because I woke up at 9:30. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. I saw a few of you and Sheb's reaction video posted yesterday. He had out-of-pocket comments on DeMar, which had commented on and was quite surprised at the hateful replies towards DeMar. Okay, there's a graphic I posted in the Raptor Freak Facebook chat yesterday that says exactly the reasons why DeMar DeRozan belongs with his jersey up in the rafters. And it's basically that man has played the most minutes in the whole entire history of the Toronto Raptors as an individual. He's played the most games as a Toronto Raptor in the history of this franchise. He has the most points of any other Raptor in the whole history of the Toronto Raptors history. He's number one on a lot of really big, important lists for the Toronto Raptors franchise. And that is more of a reason to retire a jersey than a dunk contest, in my opinion, guys. When you have actual stats that were in the game and not an exhibition, that deserves to be celebrated, casuals. Now, I had Sheb's reaction and people dissing DeMar. Well, y'all just stop and pause. Seriously. If y'all are so like, I want to be in a fake street gang for Toronto and Canada against Kendrick Lamar, that you're going to diss our great GOAT, DeMar DeRozan, your priorities are all fucked up. That's what I'm going to tell people right now. Yeah, your allegiances are messed up because how can you hate DeMar? Because DeMar is I am Toronto. In fact, as much as Drake wants to take control and say he is Toronto and he is this and he is that, in some ways, do we really want him representing our city? We come down to that. Think about that. You want to follow him as a leader for this? You even look at John Kreese and follow him. No, you want to follow Johnny Lawrence and Daniel LaRusso instead, the right and honorable senseis. So I ain't following Drake and his Cobra Kai bullshit. I'm following the right side, the loyal side, the side that said he would do anything for our city, and he did the whole time, and he still does, even though we threw him out like trash in 2018, in the summer of 2018. So I would say this right now. People that are siding with Drake over DeMar DeRozan right now, which is such a silly thing that has happened, but Drake has reopened this shit with his dumbass bullshit. And Drake, you're the fucking pussy. Mouthing quietly at DeMar as he's leaving the court. Get the fuck out of here, pussy. You didn't say that at any kind of level. You whispered it. And in some ways, it just comes off as tacky and just lame. In some ways, we do not honor a guy like DeMar DeRozan like that around the Scotiabank Arena, as far as I'm concerned, because he is the antithesis of what Vince Carter did. He's the exact opposite. If there's polar opposites, there is a polar opposite in DeMar DeRozan and Vince Carter, as far as how they treated our team with respect and loyalty. And that's all I got to say on this. Drake, in some ways, why the fuck should I have loyalty to you? You have made your money off the backs of using our city as an iconic kind of thing for your music. In some ways, some people say you made Toronto what it is. Well, some people would say Drake's Toronto is not what we wanted. How about that? So whatever's going on in Chev's reactions and comments and all that bullshit, yeah, Drake lovers and DeMar haters, fuck you. You get my two-finger salute this morning. And you know what? It don't matter what y'all think, just like it didn't matter what I thought about Vince. It's going to happen. And as DeMar said, you better get climbing, Drake. You better get climbing. And I hope you're not afraid of heights, because you ain't getting up there to get that otherwise. That's right. That's right. And security at Scotiabank Arena, if you see that goofy ass fake street thug motherfucker trying to get up in the roof of our arena, ban him from life. Do that fucking James Dolan, Charles Oakley shit to him. Ban that motherfucker from the building. I know MLSC's throat dropped. They heard Drake say that stupid shit on the live broadcast the other night. I'm sure they were like, oh, great, we don't need this. We just went through controversy with Vince and getting him smoothed over and making everything nice. And now we got Drake trying to turn Raptors Nation against DeMar DeRozan. What the fuck is that? I'm telling you right now, anybody's picking Drake and say Drake's right, give it up. You want to be gangbangers. You motherfuckers ain't standing for Toronto or this country against Kendrick when you diss DeMar DeRozan. It's nothing to do with that. And in some ways, you are turncoats, and you are the Jekylls and Jackals and idiots that made fun of DeMar when he got traded out of here and laughed at him when we won the championship. That's never the right move, especially for a man who built the house where the championship party was held in. That's what I say to that. And I won't drop this mic because it's expensive, and I love it. So there you go. Boom goes a dynamite. There you go. Stargate, thanks for fighting the good fight in weird places. Chev, I don't expect this kind of action from you. But then again, maybe I do, because you live in New York and I live in Toronto. And maybe in some ways on Toronto issues, maybe we should leave it to Toronto people, New York people. Yeah. How about that? Because if you don't live in this geography, if you haven't even been to the 416, Chev, maybe your opinions on DeMar DeRozan and Kendrick Lamar and Drake, you should pause on. How about that? I'll say that. I don't often go against Chev, but I will on this one, because I'm like that with DeRozan. That's right. I'm like that with him. That's right. Fiercely saying, Adnako, yes, Bruce does seem like a cool dude to hang around. He likes it here, especially the Timbits. Laugh out loud. Brian, I saw your thumbnail and it's cackled so hard. The LeBron meme. There you go. I'm going to have to go look at it. I haven't seen anything. I cut on the computer and I said, I better get on YouTube immediately. Daniel Barry's here. What's up, everyone? Good morning to you, Daniel Barry, Sports Highlights. Hope you're having a fantastic start to November, and the time change has been kind to you, my man. Brian saying that Trevor, Cowboy Fiercey, thank you all for the support. Much appreciated. Alley-oop to y'all. Yeah, I'm not going to give an alley-oop to all three of them. I don't do this, you guys. You guys got to give me dunks for real, and it's got to be one person. I don't do multiple people, because then I got to scroll, and then there's like 30 seconds of me messing with the spreadsheet. And in some ways, I want to just like keep going. I want to keep going because my time's been really high lately, too. Cowboys saying, good morning, eye candy. Okay, let's grow. And Brian saying, Mobo versus Joker on the undercard for Tyson versus Paul. Laughing my ass off. Yeah. They're still going to have that fight, right? Tyson versus Paul. Like I saw Mike Tyson on the other Paul's podcast recently, and they seem real chummy. They're breaking kayfabe. You can't do this, Mike. Why are you going to show up and talk to the other Paul brother like your buddies and best friends? Everybody's going to see right through it. In fact, a lot of us old heads think that they're the same person. Logan, Jake, I don't give a shit. They're the same person. They don't seem very different. And it might as well just be Logan Paul, Jake Paul. They're the same fucking person to me. So it's confused. See Mike Tyson doing a podcast with a Paul guy. I was like, wait, aren't you guys supposed to fight each other? Why are y'all so happy? Oh, is that his brother? Okay, I don't care. Either way, the illusion shattered, Mike, that you're so mad at the Paul brothers that you see them and go on their podcast. So, yeah, go ahead and knock this young man out. Please, Iron Mike, please. Yeah, the undercard is going to be Mobo versus Joker. Yeah, I want to see Jonathan, if he has that in him. He may be too young and too Padawan to be like ready to come up and do that. In some ways, he could really make some waves. You know, if he does do a cheap shot to Joker, unlike Joker, not even getting a foul or anything like that, he'll probably get thrown out of the game and suspended. So there are some dangers to trying to get an outward payback for what happened last week. There are some true dangers. In some ways, you do need like the silver tipped hair great of Charles Oakley out there to do it in a stealth way, to do it in a way to exact revenge in a way that is not detectable. But man, it would be sweet. I don't know if Jonathan's got it in him either right now. I don't know if he's just too much of a tadpole in this league right now. Maybe in like 3 years or 2 years, he's more savvy and used to be in the NBA. He'll feel he can take some liberties with getting some enforcer payback, but I don't know if he'll do it tonight. I wouldn't look for it. It'd be cool. It may be very interesting if he did try to do something. Not that we want him to try and hurt Nikola. It's just that in some ways there needs to be a pushback for a push, and that way, they know they can't punk us. In some ways, I don't know. Does Nikola feel bad about this? I mean, he did say really nice things about Scott after the game. He said amazing things about Darko. He said Darko's a great coach. They have a really good system. They got a lot of nice players. They're going to be very good soon. And then he said Scotty is just really, really good. He does it all. He said all these nice things about us, even though he knocked Scott in the face and busted his eye up. Man, this is tough. This is tough, man. Nako's saying in The Karate Kid, Johnny Lawrence has been redeemed, but Sensei Kreese, that guy is a scoundrel. Yeah, I'm watching Cobra Kai right now. I've been marathon watching it, and I'm on the current season now. I'm on season 6. It's such a strange show. It's like a little bit of everything. I mean, it's got the karate, which is absolutely cartoonish and ridiculous at times. And I don't like the implications of like just violence at any moment. They have to make it cartoonish and just not realistic in any kind of way for that kind of stupid kind of violence to happen all the time on the show. There's a lot of bullying on the show too. And they use a lot of like painting black and white into gray with the characters on whether they're good or bad. Of course, it's very interesting to take that the Karate Kid, Daniel LaRusso, was actually the bad guy in the original movie and that Johnny Lawrence was actually the good guy. This is very much like that play Wicked, and how they dealt with the Wicked Witch of the West to just kind of turn the narrative on its tail. I think that series, all of the old actors from the old movies, the 3 Karate Kid movies, yeah, I got sucked in. In some ways, it checks a lot of boxes. It checks the karate and the fighting for guys. It checks the like Dawson's Creek, like love interests and kissing and relationship crap like that. And then it also checks for me the thing that's most important: 80s nostalgia. Watching those movies as a child and then seeing this like whole world extended into this TV series after this. Of course, Johnny Lawrence's taste in music aligns very strongly with mine. And, there's a lot of interesting stuff in that movie. I mean, that TV show that I've been binge watching yesterday. So I that's part of the reason why it's fresh in my mind and why I'm making Cobra Kai references right now, just so y'all know. It's such a weird show, Gerald. And I know you guys want me to watch Battlestar Galactica. It's still something that's somewhat on my list, but that came out so long ago. The almost Edward James Almost Battlestar Galactica has been out like 15 years or something like that. So it's not really that fresh, is it? It's not really that fresh. I don't know. I'll probably watch it at some point. Cowboys saying, start swinging, Mobo. Let's go, Bo. Go, Bo. Yeah, I don't endorse this. I don't endorse this violence. I don't endorse us going Cobra Kai and Karate Kid in this game tonight just because Scott's injury. But in some ways also, the old NBA would do this. This is a part of the old credos of Oakley and Barkley and Rodman. Man, this is tough. This is tough. We'll just have to let it be what it's going to be tonight. It could very well be that Darko has instruction for his players to stay away from anything like that because he's absolutely not cool with it. We do know that him and Jokic are very close friends, and they trained together in the past. Jokic, in his history, has trained with Darko extensively. So, it's tough. It's tough. Blackhawks saying we only need to win 3 out of the 5 next games. Okay. That for what? What is it exactly we get if we do that? I just want to see every 10 games how many wins we have after 10 games. We're at 7. We got 3 more games. And each one we win, we get to a new level. Right now, we're a 200 level team with only 2 wins. So we get 1 or 2 of the next 3. We can either be a 300 team or a 400 team or even a 500 team if we're able to climb to 500 and get even right after 10 games. So, yeah, that's the gauge for me is every 10 games, we're going to see what level of team we are. Are we a 200 team? Are we a 300 team or a 400 team? And I think that those are the three likely levels. Us sweeping the next three games and going on a 4-game win streak is not very likely, but it would be awesome. I'm not against it. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, winning. Nako saying Oshai should start. Better player than Mobo, especially on defense. Yeah, the only reason why I would say Mobo starting is he's a more of a legitimate 4. And in some ways, when you start Oshai, then it's like kind of fuzzy who's going to be that 4 and helping Jakob with the rebounding. And RJ, I think he's strong enough to be a 4, but he's not tall enough. That's the problem. And people like Porter and Gordon are 6'10" kind of forwards, and that's where you lose the height. So it's in the matchup sense, Mobo does make sense to start tonight, just to negate the height advantage if we do start Oshai and RJ at the forwards. Now, Grady on the down low is also some height that's added in there also. I always count Grady as the shooting guard, but in reality, Grady can be slotted at the 2, 3, or 4 also. Now, he's not a very strong 4. And in some ways, that's the problem there. So I don't know. It's a tough decision. Chris, let's throw him a bone. He's been playing at a very high level. Let's start Chris Boucher tonight at the 4 for power forward. And they may be able to get away with that somewhat because of the lankiness. Although Gordon's looking really strong this year. His muscles are big right now. Really, really big. Let's see. Fiercely saying Nuggets lost their last game without Jamal, played against the Timberwolves. But we've seen the Timberwolves, and with Randall and DiVincenzo, they're actually not missing a beat. And they're looking like they won that trade. So the Timberwolves beating them is not a surprise to me. It's not a surprise to me at all. In fact, the Nuggets have really, really, really struggled. And they, us just barely not losing to them last Monday is symbolic of that. That we were not a good team in some ways that night, and they should have kicked our ass, but they just barely came back and beat us. That's not really what Nuggets Nation wants to see from their Denver team right now. No, it isn't. Blackhawks saying we need some get back tonight. That's right. All right, James Brown, let's get that get back. Ooh, got to get back the big payback. That's right. That's a fact. Fiercely saying, so people talk about Villain Dylan, but what Russ Westbrook is starting to get up there and drawing the attention to his antics rather than his skills. Yeah, Russell's weird, man. Russell's got such an amazing triple-double kind of middle of his career, but really since he kind of has been bouncing around from team to team in the last few years, he's gotten more and more washed conversation. Of course, he's a player who relied on his athleticism in a lot of ways. And while you get older, the athleticism is not exactly as much as it was. And you see it. He's not making his shots as well. He's making more turnovers. He's making really ill-advised like shot selection. It's weird. Maybe in his way of thinking, he's evolving as a player later in his career. And in some ways, it's a cerebral game. And maybe to Russell, he's thinking about getting in people's heads and being like a mental, like a tough guy. And I think that's part of what he's doing right now because he is really quick to talk trash. We saw him and Scotty John at it last Monday, and he was ready to jump in for Christian Braun against Rudy Gobert this weekend. So, yeah, it's interesting. In some ways, Russell cried foul and said, oh, the fans are being so mean to me, talking about my personal life, talking about my family, saying ugly things to me while my family's sitting there. It's so awful. And he cried so boo-hoo-hoo. And now he's being the biggest smack talker, shit talker on the court this season so far. And in some ways, that don't line up, Russell. You got to take it, but you can dish it out, but you can't take it. Is that what's going on here? Now, I agree. Some things should never be said at an NBA courtside towards the players. Racist things, maybe things about their personal lives that are traumatic and very, very, very tragic. Yeah. But that's the thing, Russell. You're complaining about people talking trash to you. Well, you're talking a lot of trash this year. A lot of trash. Mischief saying this. Good to see the base man. Darko is great development. Look at McGrady Dick. Last person that weared it, number 1, was Tracy McGrady. That's why you call him McGrady Dick? McGrady Dick. That actually is kind of cool. I mean, they did the Razor commercial recently, and they do share a name, I guess. Tracy McGrady Dick. Maybe that's like one of those weird, like when they take two celebrities' names and mash them up. Tracy McGrady Dick. Tracy McGrady dick. Whoa, pause, Lex. We don't need to think about Tracy like that. Well, I'm just saying, I mean, that's kind of interesting. That's very, very interesting. Yeah, I think that Dick's not gonna ever play like McGrady exactly, but there are some interesting similarities as far as the long wingspan and finishing in traffic with that long arm and some taking some contact as a skinnier kind of player like Tracy was back in the day and Grady Dick. Interesting. Nako's saying Drake just showed a lack of respect for the Raptors. Dude was making a petty drama more important than a jersey retirement. Yeah. Yeah. He did a lot in that one moment. I'm telling you, a lot of the Raptors, that's part of the reason why they were like, cut the mic, cut the mic. Sometimes Drake would call the whole entire quarter or get longer. I bet you they hooked him out. They were like, nah, if you're gonna do stuff like that, you gotta be gone. And Matt Devlin was kind of like, yeah, I know what my producer's about to say to me. Yeah, get Drake off the headphones right now. And y'all may not need to talk to him anymore in the middle of the game and have him come in on that. You know, that's fun for the Drake sexuals. They enjoy it. But a lot of us Raptors fans that are basketball fans and not music fans of him necessarily are turned off by it. We really are at this point. I think older people in general are like, why do we talk to this loser? Or why are we talking to this idiot? You know, what is this? I think that's kind of the way a lot of people feel at this point. There's going to be a subsection of really, really diehard loyal Drake fans. They're going to fight for him just like Elon Musk sexuals will. You know, there's bronze sexuals, there's Musk sexuals, there's Drake sexuals. There's these young men that think that they're just standing up for the honor of these people that they icons that they worship, which is so gross and messed up, that they go out of their way to make up shit to defend them. And I feel like that's what's going on right now in some ways with this. DeMar didn't do nothing to Drake. Honestly, Drake really thinks he did something to him. Well, what the fuck is wrong with you? You should be like listening and just paying attention. In some ways, you're so mad about that. Well, maybe why don't you like do things in the community to go against this pedophilia accusation? Or maybe like, why don't you speak on that? Or why don't you do something like that? Why don't you make it more positive? Because in some ways, you haven't cleared the allegations, bro. The allegations just linger and hang around you. And this is part of why you've been defeated in this whole rap battle, is because the allegations seem to have stuck and you did not. In some ways, you look just as bad as Diddy in some ways because of this shit, Drake. And in some ways, I don't want my team associated with you because it's like my cousin told me a couple of years ago. He said, man, I hate Drake. I don't even know why he's involved with this team. Brian said, I will not be a rap fan as long as he is the ambassador. You know, like, I'm wondering, why are all these people so against Drake? I'm like, man, Drake was good. He brought us coolness. He brought us style to our jerseys. He did the We of the North and the Welcome Toronto court and the OVO Owls all over our stuff now. And it was like, yeah. You know, I had OVO Owl all fantasy team name. But when this shit happened, I took it off there. I said, I don't want to be associated with Drake anymore like this. And in some ways, the Raptors may need to think about this, especially if, you know, there's any kind of thing down the road where Drake is having a scandal like Puff Daddy. Seriously, if this shit is true and this dude is messing around with minors, women, and in some ways, Drake might get his due in the long run. So be careful where you stand on this, some of y'all that are standing for Drake. I'm a Toronto guy. I'm bona fide Toronto. I don't have to stand with Drake to be Toronto. Fuck that shit. Born in Toronto and very much a diehard Toronto guy all my life. But that doesn't mean I have to stand on the side with Drake on this one. In some ways, I can see where this is going, and he is not on the right side. I'm going to say that right now. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Bryce is saying, well, to be fair, DeMar was in a video that was calling Drake a pedo. Whether you believe he is one or not, DeMar chose that side, so Drake has a right to feel that way. He has a right to feel that way, but feel it on your own time and not in the middle of, as like Donako said, it's not part of what's going on. We're celebrating Vince. And just because DeMar's out there, I mean, there's footage of Drake and his little buddy on the side of the court mean mugging at DeMar as he walks by them every once in a while. Like, seriously, bro, how old are you? Seriously, how old are you, Drake? How old are you, bro? And I mean, you can say he has the right to feel that, but in some ways, him pushing it further, you know, we all forgot about this shit, kind of. It all went away, but he brought it all back up into the mainstream attention. because of what happened this weekend. He's stupid. Like in some ways, Aubrey is dumb as fuck. People were starting to forget about the allegations and the Kendrick stuff. It was all going away. It was fading away. And now it's all Brack up in the forefront. And now everybody's got to recycle the whole idea. Oh, Drake might be a pedophile. Drake might be a pedophile. That's not smart. That's dumb. He should have let this lie and go away, because honestly, the allegations in the middle of it are horrible. And he didn't need to drag this out. He did it him damn self in the middle of a live broadcast in the game. And this is the thing. When somebody does this on our show, it gets on NBA down there. And all the people in the state start hearing it too. Man, it's just such a loser move. He's coming off with such a loser energy, whispering, "Get the fuck out of here, pussy," whispering it on the court. It's not like he said it to a point where DeMar heard him or anything like that. And DeMar can come circle around and see just how jackass Drake has been acting. He's like, oh, damn, I thought we weren't like this. Because to be honest, Drake it was cool with him as far as he knew. He said in interviews when he came to Toronto, I'm fine with Drake. I just haven't talked to him in a while. Well, you found out you're not, DeMar. You're not. Listen, we can give out a reasoning for why he's upset. I get it, Bryce. But it's just not very smart strategy to rehash this and put it out there over again like he did this weekend, because he only looks bad in this. Honestly, it's not like Drake looks good in any of this. It's not like his retorts and his reactions to Kendrick and the whole back and forth earlier this year were as good as his. He lost this battle. And if he wants to put it on blast that he lost a battle to Kendrick Lamar, he's an idiot. He's not being very smart strategically. Let's just say that. Stargate saying lots of Drake sexuals were in Shev's last video comment section. They came at me for saying exactly what you said about real fans choosing DeMar over Drake. Yeah, these are young people, obviously. They're young little kids. And in some ways, they fantasize about being Drake in their own lives. It's really dumb. It's not like Drake is a good role model, youngsters. Let's just put it that way. He just isn't. He really, really isn't a good role model. Some people say, what do you mean? He built a career in this and this. Yeah, but at what cost? At what cost and what he did? We have no idea what dirty kind of shit he did, except Brian does. Brian knows what dirty shit he did. To the Point knows. In some way, you know what, Brian? I want you to enter the arena. Another player has entered the arena. Can To the Point just dish all the Drake shit that finally, please? It may do a big service, but I know you need to watch your back, maybe, because Drake's got idiots out there that think they're gangbangers that might actually come and get you for putting out all these secrets about him. Because apparently Brian of To the Point, King Hussein, knows a lot of inside stuff about Drake's history here in Toronto and some of the ugly shit he's done since he was a child and since he was a teenager growing up in the city. There are a lot of people that do know Drake before he got famous in Toronto, and there's not some of the stuff that they know about him is not flattering. Let's just put it that way. And it's not like, oh, he's a dork, he was this. No, there's some shady ass moves he's made around this city. And I would be very interested in finding out this shit. Seriously, I know that man's got lawyers and he's got thugs too, though. And that's why you got to tread lightly with this kind of shit. I'm just saying, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. Yeah. And you know what? Drake sexual is going to show up every which way and at different places and stuff like that. I used to like Drake a lot, but this stuff with DeMar has made me completely turned off from him at this point. I've listened to his music. I've been like, yeah, I'm proud of Drake. Drake has done good things for Toronto. I'm not so anti-Drake. He's just lost me in this last year. In some ways, I was defending Drake against people a year ago, but I can't anymore, man. In some ways, you're taking L's and you're not even strategically doing things right at this point with what you did the other night. You just aren't, man. Bryce is saying he could definitely be more classy and mature about the situation, but Kendrick literally tried to end Drake's career. Well, isn't this what this rap game is? Isn't this what this silly, stupid ass shit is? It's better that him try to end his career than his life. Biggie Smalls and Tupac. I don't know, man. This whole thing seems so manufactured to a degree also. In some ways, I feel like these guys are like wrestlers and they go back behind the scenes and they're like, yeah, we did this. We're selling way more records because we are really amping up this controversy. Can I talk about you in A minor, Drake? You know what, man? I don't care, man. That would be so good, man. I think that would just make things even more interesting, man. Go ahead, man. Who knows? These guys could be in on this shit, Kendrick and Drake. In some ways, maybe this was even part of calculating it and putting it out there because, publicity, even if it's ugly or controversial, is still publicity. And these guys are getting their names out there and their music is being streamed and downloaded still. So it's hard to suss out. Is this as fake as the Trump assassination? It could be. It could be. Is this as fake as the Montreal screw job? Well, was that fake? I don't know. They cloud the perception of what is real and what isn't. Because in some ways, I wouldn't put it past Kendrick and Drake for having like a made up beef just to sell records. How about that? How about that? Have we thought about that? Kareem's saying, why is everybody on Drake's nuts? He allowed DeMar in his home countless of times. Drake basically consoled DeMar when he got traded. DeMar trolled Drake on opting to be in the video. That's disrespect. Yeah. I mean, this is what I'll say. In some ways, Drake, you got to understand your target has changed, and this is different. Kendrick Lamar, sure, he's open season. Go ahead. Kendrick is the mastermind of the Not Like Us video and everything that happened on that. In some ways, once again, DeMar's a pawn in this. And you want to go after the pawn with it's not right, especially because the optics don't look good. DeMar DeRozan's coming off like a saint right now with his help in mental health issues. Listen, in some ways, you calling him a pussy and being a bully towards him on the way out the court, well, that don't look good when you're doing that towards a global mental health advocate, is what I'm going to say right now. In some ways, that's not the right message, Degrassi, you fuckface. Because think about it, your show that you used to be on taught lessons about acceptance and diversity and getting along in school at Degrassi, fucking piece of shit. Why don't you get this, Drake? You're such a good actor. You never bought any of the shit from the show you were on that you can come around and be like this and be bullying a guy who just fucking put his heart out on a book. Vulnerable as hell. Everybody knows all his hurt and his pain. And he did it to sacrifice to show that other people that they can feel this stuff and be okay too. He's using a role model. And this is the role model you are. Call a guy a pussy bitch while he's leaving the court. Like that, dude, that's one of the reasons why this looks so bad too, is because you tone deaf. You don't see what DeMar DeRozan has done outside of the game. Forget about it. He's a Hall of Famer in the NBA for his whole entire career because of his stat accumulation. He's a Hall of Famer in life for changing the talk about mental health around men. And in some ways, this doesn't come off good, Drake. Bullying a mental health advocate, somebody who has been very, very peace, love, and understanding in a war zone his whole entire life. It's stupid, man. And I love DeMar's response by playing that clip of Friday with Chris Tucker and Ice Cube talking about Debo. Yeah. In some ways, that's the reminder of the story in there, that what happened was when the bully came to DeMar when he was young and bullied him, he kicked his ass. And he was Craig. And Debo was Tiny Lister. Well, that's you, Drake. And you want to go ahead and be the bully. Well, you're going to get DeMar DeRozan, Craig from Friday, showing you up in front of everybody, because that's what this action is right now. That's what this action is right now. Kaz is saying, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Kaz on the road. It's Monday, so he's on the road. 10-4, good buddy. That's right. Kareem's saying, I don't care if Kendrick is from the same hood as DeMar. He could have sat this one out, but he got caught in the rap fiasco. Whenever you see Kendrick and DeMar together? DeMar was Drake's boy. Shaking my head. Listen, DeMar DeRozan has always been a connector. DeMar DeRozan has always been a mediator. He's been a mediator between the Bloods and the Crips this entire. In some ways, he utilized his great basketball talent to make peace in the Compton as often as he could. He had family on both sides and hated seeing either side. It's not like, he may technically stand with the Crips and the Blue, but he has family on the Red and the Bloods too. And in some ways, he's been a mediator and somebody in the beginning, in the middle. We know his ties to Drake are strong. We've seen him on the cover of a Slam magazine with Kyle Lowry and Drake. We've seen him talk about when I was in trouble, Drake was there for me, and Drake, this and that, and all this stuff. We've seen the love between Drake and DeMar in times past. And we know that Kendrick grew up with DeMar, so they are very tight too. So this is just another instance where DeMar DeRozan is in the middle of a conflict. And in some ways, he's used to it. He's lived this life his whole time like this with the gang warfare in his community where he comes from. So, I mean, it's a weird thing. Drake looks like an ass right now. Do I see Kendrick Lamar continuing to push this shit? Maybe on stage. Sure. Maybe when he sings that song every time and he says that lyric, but I don't hear it in the forefront on mainstream media like I am all of a sudden because Drake said it in the Raptors broadcast and brought it all into forefront once again. I mean, that's the way I look at it right there. And in some ways, DeMar, all he was trying to do was come to Toronto, watch Vince Carter get honored, and play a game against the Raptors as a professional in the NBA. Just keep his head down, make his shots, and do what he's normally supposed to do. What's Drake fucking doing? He wants to act like this is some sort of high school game where he can take pot shots at a guy and challenge him to a fight in the parking lot. Yeah, Drake looks so stupid in this whole thing. He really does. In some ways, you bringing it up and putting it in our face again, Drake, that only hurts you, man. That's not good strategy. Once again, that's not good strategy. Stargate saying this whole thing is a fake music industry manufactured beef. Drake and Kendrick are friends. They be on the phone laughing together all the way to the bank at all you followers. There you go. That's what I was alluding to earlier. The man to escape the machine knows the machine, and he can see the fingerprints of a manufactured conflict just to sell records. Yeah, I mean, I see this too, Stargate. I thought this all along. I thought that this was a little bit. Now, they were getting so personal with each other. It was kind of ugly. But I'll tell you this. In the history of professional wrestling, Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair, you think those two hated each other? You think the ugly-ass things they said about it, it's like Ric Flair come out, woo, Dusty Rhodes, your mother's so fat, she sits around the house literally, woo, woo.
I tell you, Ric Flair, you come down to Tallahassee on Friday, April the 13th. I'm going to kick your ass all over that court and make you look goofy like your stupid son, David Flair.
You know, they probably did all kinds of crazy shit. They were like in the back saying, you know, Dusty, if you talk about my wife, you go ahead. That'll make people really think it's real and shit like that. And Dusty Rhodes sitting in the back at Tallahassee, Leon County Civic Center, on a 1986 hot summer night saying,
when we go out there, you talk about how fat I am and how ugly I am with my stupid carved up head.
Woo! I'll do it, Dusty! Woo! You know, it could be just like that. Seriously, you don't think Kendrick Lamar and Drake are breaking kayfabe? They're doing kayfabe on y'all. Y'all just got some top-notch Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes impressions. And people that caught them and really enjoyed them, that was for you. That was so good, man. I'm proud of myself. I did them really good, didn't I? Woo! Woo! That's right. I mean, this is so true, guys. Seriously. This is, I mean, look, oh my gosh, you can organize shit. You know, that's what the theater is. The illusion, the spectacle. Not gonna say it. He did a jersey retirement. He did it at a jersey retirement, which I think is shitty. I'm already coming at this as someone who doesn't or never liked Drake. Yeah, none of us asked for Drake to be our number one representative of the 416 in downtown. He took that shit and made it something, and he branded our city into his iconography. And in some ways, you know, he promoted us and made us more on the map. Yeah, I have to admit that. That's true. The 6, that whole statement is more on blast because of Drake. But in some ways, nobody asked you to do this shit, Drake. Nobody asked you to be, I'm the UN Nation's representative for the city of Toronto. Hi, guys. I'm the unofficial representation for 416 Toronto. Hi, I'm Drake. Hi, guys. How you doing? How you doing? I'm the mayor of Toronto. No, nobody asked you to do this shit, Drake. Nobody asked you to come up and represent our whole entire fucking city. No. It'd be like asking Doug Ford to do that shit. Oh, not Doug Ford, Rob Ford. No, we don't want to have Rob Ford represent our city on late night television with all of his crack smoking jokes and shit like that. Nobody asked for these representations. No, we didn't. Kareem saying Drake trolled DeMar about his possible jersey retirement. It wasn't a good taste. But why is everyone looking at the reaction of someone and not the fucking problem? This isn't about basketball or rap. Yeah. Why don't we look at the allegations that Kendrick Lamar is bringing up? Because that sounds very serious. And if they're doing things with Puff Daddy right now down there, Sean Combs, why are they serious allegations looked into? Because maybe it's not true. Maybe there isn't anything law enforcement can come and look at with Drake and stuff like that. Because it's all made up bullshit. I don't know. There's all kinds of different ways this could be going. I mean, seriously. But yeah, he didn't need to do this. He made it about himself too much. And in some ways, Vince, you shouldn't have acknowledged him. You really shouldn't have. You really, really shouldn't have. Because in some ways, he wasn't around during your era. There's not really any reason to like give Drake any credit during your retirement speech. Seriously. Seriously. Yeah. And this isn't about rap or basketball. This is about respect and lack thereof. Okay, or the manufactured idea that this is about respect or lack thereof. I mean, let's talk about current wrestling. We got the family or whatever, the Samoan family. And we got Roman Reigns, we got Usos, we got Solo Sikoa. We got all these guys fighting each other. Is this about respect? Is this about anything other than no? This is about making money and a farce and the spectacle of conflict that is not true. I mean, that I really do believe Stargate's right on this. And some people are just buying it hook, line, and sinker because it's so nasty and dirty, and the details are so salacious. They're so salacious. So be like, ooh, he says you do it with a minor. Ooh, it's like, man, it's manufactured. I really do feel like it is at this point. Andrew saying, I hope Oshai has another good game tonight. Love seeing him play with confidence. Yeah, I think that in some ways that door might be open and he's through it at this point. In some ways, that's all you need is to string together a good little string of games. And then you're a new type of pro that isn't that shaky. In some ways, that's development. That is growing as a player through the years in the NBA. And it could be that in his third year now, Ochai Agbaji's ready to make a jump to being a consistent rotational player, if not a consistent starter. So I like that. I like that a lot. Blackhawk saying best Quincy Jones arrangement, Secret Garden. There you go. There's a great suggestion for some listening to honor the great legend Quincy Jones today. Secret Garden. Good stuff, Neil. I like that. Fiercely saying no more Drake versus Kendrick versus DeMar versus Future versus Rick Ross versus Metro versus Jay-Z versus Pusha T versus Kanye versus Joe Budden versus Charlamagne versus the whole planet talk, fam. You want to dunk. You get it. That's so funny. I mean, what is this? The Royal Rumble? The Royal Rumble on February the 20th at Trump Plaza. So stupid. All right, 250 for you, Fiercey. So funny. 10-pointer for you. 10-pointer for you. Hilarious. Bryce is saying Drake the GOAT. I want to go with Drake. I would, but he just is looking bad. And I don't want to be associated with bad. In some ways, he's just not winning. In some ways, I really do think he lost this battle. In some ways, it's like, look, I know Drake's gone up against many of them before by himself, against like multiples of them. And he's been successful in one, but this one he lost. There's no denying it. Whether it's looking at the actual technicalness and quality of the music that was involved in this battle, Kendrick beat him. He just did. And the hook, it's just how it is. And in some ways, Drake, you want to keep dragging this latest L in your life out in front of everybody so everybody can relive it over and over again. That's your fault, man. That's your fault, my guy. Sorry for spazzing. You're all good. Kareem. Don't worry about it. Listen, this is controversial. In some ways, they want us. Drake wants us to pick sides. DeMar didn't ask us to pick sides. Drake did. So we got to remember that, guys. We got to remember Drake's the one asking us to pick sides. In some ways, I'm not going against my team first. Fuck that. I love music. I love the NBA. I love them both very, very much. But I'm the Raptors freak. And I stay with my Raptors. And honestly, Drake, there ain't enough albums and songs that you put out that beat DeMar DeRozan's dunk highlights and clutch play for the Raptors throughout his tenure of his career on our team. I'm sorry. They don't match up in my world, in my perspective, as far as quantities. So, no, I'm with DeMar. He's done more for me in my life than you have. And in some ways, I love DeMar DeRozan more than any other player in this league, partly because I know we shafted him. And in some ways, this is so wrong, Drake. This is so wrong. We got that championship on the dealing of him out, and that's sad. And a lot of casual fans made fun of DeMar after that, and that hurt him. In some ways, he didn't deserve any of the kind of bullshit negativity from Raptors fans who talk shit about DeMar DeRozan and his inability to take us to the finals. So, yeah, fuck this shit. Drake, you are in that group with the people that hate DeMar. Fuck you, Drake. 2-finger salute for you, global ambassador. Fuck you. I denounce you and deny you as the person that I want leading around my team anymore. Seriously, DeMar DeRozan's a good standing GOAT, somebody who has made his allegiance to Toronto very clear this summer, and I have no problem with him. And I will turn like crazy on Drake now with his bullshit and his stealing his samba beats and talking over him and mum. I used to call you on the cell phone. I have the shit that Drake does is lazy as fuck. He gets half of his acclaim for his timing and his like, yeah. It's not like he has any good messaging. It's not like he's made any kind of social difference in this world, like DeMar DeRozan. He's just pathetic. He's self-centered and he's a fuck boy. That is the one word you can call Drake. He's a fuck boy. And women out there know what fuck boys are, and they hate him. And they just don't have no time for fuck boys like Drake. And that's what it is right there. That's right. Mischief saying Drake, Mr. Unambassador, might lose. Hang on. I like what Mischief's saying here. I want to catch it all. I jumped right when I was reading it. I want to make sure I read the whole thing. Mr. Unambassador might lose his spot to Canadian EBM producer Excision, since Excision character is the Raptors character Tyrannosaurus. Drake, his time is up. Now, I don't know if we need a succession of another musical artist to take the place of Drake. In some ways, it's not important. Or in some ways, I want us to just have basketball people again. I mean, if we're going to have a style icon or somebody like that, I don't know. We could probably find somebody better around the city. Who knows? But yeah, in some ways, I'm sick of the friendship or arrangement that the Raptors have with Drake at this point. He's just making us look bad. And, you know, honestly, if they're listening to me, Bell, Rogers, MLSC right now, the more we can distance ourselves from this guy, probably the better. Listen, in some ways, it may be interesting and fun, and he has a part in our history for sure. But maybe that chapter needs to close. Seriously, Messiah. In some ways, y'all can still entertain him and talk to him behind the scenes and make him feel important around things. But maybe we don't put him on blast or show him so closely connected to our team anymore. In some ways, I do enjoy seeing the OVO owl around our stuff because it really does kind of bring a quality to our things. But in some ways, is that branding getting tarnished and losing value, just like the little bird that was blue that Elon bought? That's the thing I'm wondering about right now. That's right. Is his time up? Maybe. Andrew saying, I hope Bruce isn't going to auto us. Well, if he does, it won't be for very long. And there's a means to the end either way that we will get value for him at some point. His expiring contract is extremely attractive to other teams. So it's more than likely that we'll get something for him instead of him just retiring off into the sunset like Otto Porter did. Now, Kelly, I'm a little bit more worried about with this aspect. Kelly said he wants to retire a Raptor. Well, don't like collect money from us for a couple years on a contract and never play for us and then retire. That's what Otto did. Blackhawks saying there's no rush for Bruce Brown to be back. Oshai working his tail off. Yeah, there's no rush for Bruce to come back. And in fact, maybe he'll be a distraction from development. Maybe he'll be in the way of some of the other guys. I don't think that Bruce Brown is essential or necessary in any kind of way. In some ways, he's just extra trimmings on the cake, and he can very much help us. He can very much do stuff, but we're not depending on him for anything as far as him coming back and doing this to do that to help us like Scotty or IQ. Does that make sense? I mean, he'll help. Don't get me wrong, but he's not essential. We know he's not essential. That's right. Blackhawks, let's see. Blackhawks also saying, Bruce Brown, if you're listening to this podcast, then take your time. There's no rush. Yeah, it's going to be like that. Bryce is saying, Oshai's growth was the one thing I was looking forward to the most, and so far he's been playing up to my expectations. I'm going to be honest. I think, Bryce, he's been playing beyond my expectations for what Oshai was going to do. In some ways, I didn't really know what was going to happen with Oshai. I thought maybe he was going to be a bust and somebody that just wasn't going to work out. But he's turning into a reclamation project that Masai and Bobby pinpointed to come here from Utah, and it's paying off extremely well. You know, part of it is Abaji's very special offensive strengths are in transition. And if we really are focused on being a more get it out in the and going transition kind of team, fast breaking, well, he's a perfect fit for our team. And that may be the part that was the most important part. Besides the defensive excellence, is his transition game is really fitting the philosophy of the Raptors wanting to run it, run it, fast break style. That's right. Trevor's saying Freaks today is all about Raptors, not about Drake. We do not care about Drake. That's right. Well, that's officially how I stand as a Raptor freak. Everybody's different. Raptor freaks are all allowed to have varying opinions and different things. I know some of y'all are big Drake fans here, and I don't want to hurt y'all's feelings. I'm just calling it like it is. In some ways, this is the way I see it. And in some ways, the thing that's going on with Drake did not have to have it pop up again this weekend in this ugly way, in this stupid ass way, in this overshadowing way. In some ways, maybe Vince Carter is a little pissed at Drake today because he kind of took some of the spotlight off of his day. And honestly, if I was Vince, I mean, he probably doesn't care. He may, though. He may be like, what is Drake doing? Why is he trying to do this? I love DeMar. DeMar's my friend. You know, we know Vince is very much a connector and a friend with everybody. So, you know, he's not wanting to have this kind of ugliness around his night. Seriously. Some people may remember the night Vince Carter got his jersey retired is the night that Drake said some bullshit about DeMar DeRozan on our broadcast. Yeah, good. MLSC doesn't want us to be negging our players. They didn't want me talking trash about Vince Carter this summer. And I'm sure they damn for sure didn't want Drake talking trash about DeMar DeRozan on the national broadcast. Yeah, that's no good. That's no good. Blackhawk Santa, remember that crap candy? We had so much junk those days. You know, that gum was good, though. It was tasty. And unlike some of the other gum back then, it kept its flavor for a little while. The Nuggets gold nugget gum, that was cool. And we had like fake cigarettes. We had all kinds of cool candy back then. We were like smoking the powder cigarettes. Remember those, man? Those were the days, weren't they? Yeah, Kareem saying, put Jacoby on 905. Give Bruce Brown a raise in his value. This is very smart. If the Raptors want to trade him, I like Bruce and hope and want him as a part of the glue guy. But really, reality is we have players to fill his void, unfortunately. I think your strategy is right. I think that in some ways, Jacoby struggled offensively in his first two games. We'll see on this road trip if he gets any better. And then when they get back from the road trip, it's 905 time, basically, baby. So it may be that he's getting this road trip to show what he can do on the Raptors side of things this time. But then when we come back, he may be going straight to Mississauga and working there because he struggled with his offense in the first two games. He's not hitting his shots exactly right. And there are rookie mistakes happening with Jacoby. But there's also a lot of promising things happening with him too. This is also another good point by Kareem that we play Bruce because we want to showcase that he's healthy and that he can still do certain things to help a top level team make that push for the Larry O'Brien. That's really what we want to do is we want to show off that we've got this dude that does all this stuff and he can help you win your championship, whatever team is interested in making that deal. So I think that Kareem's right on point with his assessment right here. In fact, I'm going to give the dunk champ a dunk for a very astute comment, and it wasn't even funny. So how about that? You're getting one for just being a really smart comment. We're going to give you a 5-pointer, 411, bro. You got that 411. Let's go. All right, let's see. Andrew's saying DeMar and Kyle were the first stars to wear our jersey with pride. They both deserve their jerseys retired. Yeah, that's the other thing, Drake. I know you're bona fide. You know what? All right, here's this just occurred to me. I know DeMar's a real one for Toronto because he said, I am Mr. Toronto. He saw the hurt that Vince did to our team when he left and went to New Jersey. He saw the hurt firsthand as a rookie when Chris Bosh made the decision to go to South Beach with LeBron James. He decided at that point, I'm a real one for Toronto, just like I'm a real one for Compton, just like I'm a real one for my family and my people back home. Well, I'm a real one for Toronto, and that hasn't changed. That's the crazy thing. We cast him aside and got a championship after him. That hurts so bad. He could have easily gotten his feelings and let his demons overtake him with anger and hate against us. And it did for a little while temporarily, but it came back around. No, this is the thing. That's true loyalty right there. He may never, ever play for Toronto again, but he still openly talks about Toronto. He's still an active op against us. We played him on Saturday night, and he's still saying, I love this city. I love this Toronto. I appreciate it so much because of 9 years here and what they did for us. That's true loyalty. And what is Drake? Drake's going to Golden State games. He's going to Phoenix games. He's going to Miami. He's going all over the damn NBA and kissing the ass of general stars all over the league. That's not loyalty. And in some ways, it's real easy for me to have loyalty to somebody who actually has loyalty for Toronto when he has all the reasons not to. And then you got the guy who says he's Mr. Toronto and is Toronto and taking an album cover and putting himself sitting on the outside of the CN Tower. Meanwhile, he's at Golden State, palling around with Kevin Durant and Steph Curry and turncoating left and right. I mean, it's a real easy decision, Raptors fans. They're real ones for the Raptors. It's a real easy decision when you actually look at the behaviors and not what they say, the behaviors of what these two men have done for the Raptors and the city of Toronto. So yeah, Drake, you go ahead and be Mr. Oh, I'm friends with everybody. I'm going to go and celebrate things with Kyle in Philadelphia next. Yeah, motherfucker, you go down there and celebrate with Nick Nurse and Kyle Lowry in Philadelphia. You turncoat. That's what I'm saying. DeMar had every reason to hate us for the rest of his life, but he didn't. He couldn't, and he understands and appreciates it, and that's true loyalty. That's true loyalty. It's not true loyalty when you're talking about, the Raptors is going to be bad this year. So I'm going to spend a lot of time in Phoenix with you, Kevin, and Devin down in the desert. I'm going to be out there with you guys. Yeah, that's not loyalty, Drake. And fuck you, Drake. Once again, 2-finger salute for you, bro. That's the difference right there. I could spell it out for y'all right there. That's right. That's right. Carlos saying, morning, Lex, and most gracious freaks. I'm not buying the DeMar and Drake beef. I think it's staged. I'd rather focus on the new dynamic raps. There you go. I like that too. Hopefully, the aftermath of what's been happening, of course, it's been 2 days since this happened, that there's more that comes out over time, and we have to deal with it in some ways. I think you're right. I think it's staged also. And I think that in some ways, DeMar is giving it away because he's not taking this seriously. It's not like he's getting upset about it. He could either do two things. He could be like overly acting like, oh, fuck Drake, and amping it up and making it worse as part of the play of it. Or he could be like, no comment. I don't want to talk about this. No comment. Or he could be like what he is. He's like talking trash back to him, but like very subdued and kind of not seriously. He's kind of like, yeah, whatever. It's kind of like a laugh. He's like, okay, whatever. In some ways, Drake, you're an idiot. You may have had DeMar on your side still to a point, but now not at this point. If you're going to say the shit that you said on the broadcast like that. In some way, Drake, he thought you was still your friend, but now he knows the truth that you came out instead of talking to him beforehand. You went on the podcast and said you'd rip his retirement jersey down from our rafters. I'm just saying, man, I could break this down all kinds of different ways and just show you just how wrong Aubrey is. Seriously, it's so dumb, man. It's so dumb. I would rather focus on our young developing team also. That's right. Kaz is saying Drake was out of pocket with his comments for sure. Oh, yeah. No place for them. No place for them, Drake. You an idiot, man. You just make yourself look bad. Randolph's here. Good to see Randolph Phillips. Blessings, beloved. Raptor Freaks, most informative gang. You can make your own life plan or be a part of someone else's and miss your destiny. Woo! Wow, that's a heavy one. Really heavy one. Wow. So make your life choices for yourself and what's best for you in some ways. But, don't run roughshod over people and screw them over to get to what you want. That's not the right way either. Leo's saying this morning, one step at a time is all it takes to get you there. Leo's life tips. Thank you to the three wise men of the Raptor Freak channel, Leo Routens, Randolph Phillips, and my good friend Trevor J. I appreciate you guys. And most love and beloved blessings to all the families, especially the Phillips family. That's right. Mischief saying, if you look at ESPN, you'll see Quickly is back November 4th at Base Capital Miles High Club. What? Is that what they're saying now? Huh? What? Are they saying Quickly's back? I don't know. It doesn't say for sure on my ESPN. It doesn't say that. It says he's out right now. But that's interesting. I don't know what you're talking about at Base Capital, Mile High City. The Base Capital? Is there a lot of bass there? There's a lot of people playing bass up in the mountains of Denver. Doing that Les Claypool. Sorry. I'm doing Primus now. I did Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes. Now I'm doing Primus. What a Monday. What a Monday. Yeah. Blackhawk's saying it's easier for Drake to attack DeMar than battle Kendrick. Yeah. That's another thing right. I was going to pick up a mic and start 8 Mile in him. I mean, what is this? Seriously. And in some ways, DeMar is a peaceful man. He always has been. That's the other thing that's so wrong about this, is because DeMar was shielded from bullying and people fucking with him by the gangs because they saw in him the amazing basketball skill he had. And they said, oh, not this one. We're protecting him. So in some ways, DeMar never had to worry about bullies hardly at all because, first of all, he was one of the biggest kids and he could fight himself, but also he had people looking out for him because they didn't want him to get in any trouble and mess up his future. So it's like Drake doing this bully move at this time. It just comes off as so stupid because in some ways, DeMar DeRozan, he's untouchable, man, because he's always been untouchable because that's the way they decided it in Comp 10 that he would be untouchable. And at this point, bro, what are you doing, man? You're stepping up to him. We can't take you seriously because in some ways, Drake, It's not DeMar versus Drake. It's DeMar versus life. And DeMar's winning against life. That's right. DeMar went and faced his own demons. And you will never, ever, ever be the same main event as DeMar versus his own demons, bro. After beating his own demons, you're like a fucking fly on his hand. Seriously. And nobody needs to peacock or bow up against you verbally or any kind of way just because you spoke out of pocket on a Raptors broadcast with Matt Devlin and Jack Armstrong. Seriously, there's no response to this. It's just you're an idiot. What are you doing, Forest Hill? That's what I say right there. That's right. Forest Hill, what are you doing? You're talking to Comp 10. That's what I'm saying right there. Yeah, I don't like to switch sides, but in some ways, this is just what I'm saying right now because I'm standing for my guy DeMar, who is in some ways Toronto, even if he's Mr. Comp 10. And some people say, whoa, you're turncoat. You're on Kendrick's side, Lex? And this one I am. And it's partly because Drake is out of pocket, and he's wrong on this one, is what I'm saying right now. He's wrong on this one. Kareem's saying, I have no dog in this fight, but if my boy came to me after his wife cheated on him and I allowed him into my home and to cry and vent, then to go hang with someone calling me a pedophile, we're going to have a problem. Well, all right. I'm going to say this, first of all. Just like when we played Denver and Scotty Barnes said to Scott Foster, you cheating, man. You cheating. Oh, Tech, you're out, Barnes. Just kick him out. Why do you protest so much, Scott Foster? If we're painting stripes on the tiger, does that mean it's the tiger's stripes? Is what I would say. So he's like, oh, he called you a cheater. Why are you so emotionally upset about it? That's the same action. In some ways, if Drake or Scott Foster were not the things they're accused of, why would they get so bowed up and upset about it? That's what I'm saying. If Drake wasn't a pedophile, then he wouldn't be having to worry about nothing. Once again, I'll say this. Kendrick Lamar did not tell DeMar the whole scope of what he was doing with that song. All he did was say, DeMar, can you come down to the video shoot and just sit there? I want you to just look mean and sit there. And that's it. He didn't have no idea the whole context of what Kendrick was putting into that song. And it could very well be that DeMar heard the song after. He's like, oh, shit, why did you say that about Drake? Why did you do that? Is it going to be kind of conflicted? Oh, well, I can't do anything about it now. And you are my boy. I'll just trust you on this. But I'll bet you money. It's not like DeMar was a mastermind with Kendrick Lamar to do this. And in some ways, he may not even understood the whole song when he actually agreed to be in the video, guys. So, I mean, there's a lot that's not totally clear here. And it seems like DeMar wasn't totally getting the whole idea of it. The one thing he did say about things is it seems like people are being a little sensitive, is what he said. Well, Drake, are you sensitive to being called a pedophile? Does it strike you like Scott Foster being called a cheater? That's what I asking right now. That's what I say right there. I mean, if you ain't not know nothing wrong, then what are you worried about, or why you get so upset about the accusations? That's what I say about that. I mean, seriously, Blackhawk saying if MLSC wants Drake gone, then they will have the DJ play not like us. Yeah, I don't know if it has to get to that point. Seriously. Cody Willis is here. Good to see Cody Willis. Thanks for joining and subscribing. And I hope I'll see you more in the chat more often. We're here every morning, 9:30, talking daily Raptors issues and controversies. DeRozan deserves a ring more than any other Raptor, and the Raptors will be lucky to have him, and we are. Kudos to that. That is spoken from the heart of a real Raptor freak and a real Raptor fan that understands the real truth and the history of this team. And in some way, Drake, you were here. You saw it all. Why don't you understand this? What Cody understands. Seriously. I don't understand why. Is it just to sell more records? You're going to take pot shots at somebody like this? It's just not right. Cody, you're getting a big 10-pointer for this, man. In fact, you're not on the list. And how apropos that Cody Willis is going to be on the dunk chart with a 10 after this comment. This is exactly right. You got that 10, guy. There you go. 10 dunks for Cody. Coming in with a great debut comment, man. Blackhawks saying the only one I want to see fighting on this team is Jakob. He's too tall to be a friendly giant. Step on someone's toes, Jakob, just one time. I know. Where can we take him to the Pete Newell big man's dirty camp or something like that? Is there such a thing? The Pete Newell dirty play big man's camp? Because it seems like Jokic and Embiid went to it. Can we send Pirtle to something like that? In some ways, he's just not like that. He's just a nice guy. In some ways, I admire that. In some ways, that is the Miyagi-Do way. It's a Miyagi-Do. He's Miyagi-Do, and Jokic is a Cobra Kai for sure. And or no, and I think that Embiid's more Eagle Fang because he's kind of like unpredictable and falling all over the place and kind of just stupid. Yeah, I think that's what's going on here. Is it unfortunately Jakob Pertl is Miyagi-Do, which is defensive first and not dirty and trying to do stuff like that. Oh well, what is it? We can't change him. Although maybe we should have him go talk to John Kreese. This guy Jakob Pertl. This is this Martin Cove, actor from Karate Kid movies. Jakob, hi, I've seen you in a movie before. Yeah. Hi, Jakob. You need to get out there and stop messing with your life. No mercy. It'd be so crazy if they had John Kreese come in and start telling Jakob to be dirty. Man, the Cobra Kai is running through the stream today. Oh my gosh, man. So crazy, man. So crazy, man. Blackhawks saying, hey, I watched the Karate Kid reboot. Crap. It's entertaining. It is crap, but it is entertaining at the same time. And yeah, we need John Kreese down there or Sensei Silver. What a weird, creepy dude he was. He's like, I just care about the children, but I'm going to burn down your furniture store. Oh, that shit is so crazy. Cobra Kai is out of control, bro. It's out of control, man. And Danny LaRusso is the bad guy, man. He's like such a jerk in some ways. He's like, oh, my car dealership. Oh, so stupid. Anyway, all right, let me stop. All right. Let's see. Blackhawk saying, I got the original and reboot of Battlestar Galactica. I love them both. Yeah, I mean, you guys want me to watch this, specifically Smooth. I think Smooth Brown Man's the one who wants me to watch Battlestar Galactica so bad. I don't know. In some ways, it's something that I have to agree upon with Adriana. When I go see her, when I get to see her every once in a while, we'll pick something to watch. And I don't know if she's going to get into Battlestar Galactica. She got into Cobra Kai because there's all the kissing and all the, the girly stuff that's going on, with Sam versus Tori. Are you Team Sam or Team Tori? Ooh, she's Team Tori. Anyway, all right, let me keep going. Blackhawk saying, I have Buck Rogers in $6 Million Man too for nostalgia. Oh, yeah, Steve Austin. Yeah. No. And Buck Rogers, Gil Gerard. Woo, with Tweaky. Hey, Buck, where are you going? Oh, hey, Tweaky, we've got to go to the Nebula because there's something going on out there. Okay, Buck. The great voice of Mel Blanc doing the Tweaky voice. Yeah, that little robot boy. Man, it's the part of the fun of this channel is Lex gets nostalgic about old ass shit. Yeah, there we go. Mischief saying, I binge watched Cobra Kai. Have you watched Outer Banks? John B looks like Josh Giddey to me. Okay, I haven't watched Outer Banks, but yeah, I'm in the last season of Cobra Kai right now. Of course, they're still putting it out. There's a bunch of episodes coming out on the 15th, apparently. Yeah, Blackhawk saying that Cobra Kai rocks. Yeah, it's pretty good. I don't like the genuine violence and some of the stuff that happens in it, but it's so ridiculous. At some point, you're just like, yeah, this is nothing like real life. It's nothing like it at all. There's a lot of loaded messages in that show too. Nako's saying season 6 of Cobra Kai 11 days away. That's right, on the 15th. They have the first 5 episodes of season 6 out. They're coming out with the next 5, and then they'll have an extra 5 for season 6 coming out in 2025. So yeah, that's what's going on. Fiercey saying it feels so weird to see Milwaukee ranked number 15 in the Eastern Conference and the Sixers number 14, and Detroit and Charlotte ranked higher. I am shocked by this too. I'm shocked that the Wizards have like almost a 500 record. That is very shocking. Yeah, this is weird. It's very weird. I was looking at the standings yesterday too, Marie, and when I saw Milwaukee and Sixers at the bottom, I was like, woo, damn. Adrian Griffin, Nick Nurse, former Raptors coach. Karma stories. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Blackhawks saying, I believe it is the final season too, Nako. This is the last season of Cobra Kai. Probably right. In some ways, they've kind of jumped the shark a little bit. Yeah. Blackhawks saying Sixers will go on a run, not giving them an afterthought. Listen, it all is not things aren't getting any better with the Sixers. I mean, the whole incident with the journalist and Joel Embiid is really ugly. And they're saying Paul George is coming back today. You know what? I'm going to be very curious to see Paul George's fit with the Sixers. I don't know if it's going to be as great as everybody thinks it is. I don't think it's going to be a success. In some ways, we've seen Dame Lillard being on the Bucks being a complete failure. So even if people say, "Oh, Paul George is the big acquisition this year and he's going to shake things and shift things," no, I don't think so. He could very well have a Lillard effect to this team. He may already have it, and he hasn't even played yet because that team has really bad vibes. And Joel is crazy right now. As much as Giannis is pissed off in Milwaukee, Embiid is acting out and having all kinds of crazy stuff happening around him in Philadelphia also. So I have no faith in the Sixers getting things right, even if they're healthy. There's going to have issues still because part of the problem right now with the Sixers is their backup team is not strong enough or deep enough, and they're losing in games that Nick Nurse thought they'd easily win against lower opponents like us. And this is a problem. Even if Embiid comes back, if they're not as good as they were last year and they're not winning as well, they're going to feel like they're backtracking and not progressing towards the Larry O'Brien. And knowing that crew, they can get in their feelings and make it even worse and more toxic. They really do need to be successful in Philadelphia to keep the ship afloat. And in some ways, it's not afloat. It's already sinking in the harbor before it even left on its voyage this season. So that's the way I kind of look at it right there. Let's see. Where am I right here? The Stargate saying Drake is a diddy do wop. A diddy do wop? A diddy do wop. A wop up up. Let's go to get some soda pop from the soda jerk down at the pharmacy, hun. Oh, Blackout saying you can't ask Brian to put stuff about Drake without proof. That can be libellous. Well, I know I'm just saying this is what Brian has told me for years. This is why I hate Drake, Lex. I knew him when we were younger. And in some ways, I know so much dirt on him that is just not right or anything like that. Well, listen, I'm just saying I'd love that. I don't know what's the legal ramifications. I don't know what would happen with all that. In some ways, it'd be interesting. I don't know. Brian would have done it already if he was going to do it. In some ways, he's respecting what you're saying, I guess. And in some ways, he's maybe like, yeah, I can't do this way because I get in trouble. But he may know stuff that people don't know. And that is very interesting to me. And that's why I want to know what's up. Yeah. Stargate saying it is fake. They're both in on it. Yeah. It totally gets me that way. It really kind of went that way because honestly, let's think about this. Let's wonders this about the Lamar versus Drake battle this year. How the hell did they have songs out so quickly in succession right at each other so quickly? What they weren't gearing up ahead of time and thinking, yeah, let's go into this battle and let's prolifically come out with a song every 2 days against each other at that time. Don't tell me that they were just in their creative juices and they're like, oh, I want to do this and do this. Oh, I got to retort. No, in some ways, this could have been pre-planned because who knows? These guys are mega stars that have very busy lives and they have tours. And in some ways, to set aside a period of time where they could be jumping into the recording studio to make response songs to each other so quickly, it really kind of, is this pre-set up? And did you schedule the time in the recording session? Okay, Kendrick Lamar diss track number 3. Yeah, I'll be in there on the 20th. Yeah, after we do 1 and 2 before that. Yeah, they may very well have done this like that. Isn't that right? Yeah, it smells like staged. Yeah, just like Trump's little ear shot. He cut his ear like Vince McMahon told him the blade. He like went down low and he went cut it, and he was like, then he had to stand up and act like he got shot by the ear. Most of the people, the experts said if the bullet had come that close to his ear, it would have ripped it off, and he would have had way worse damage. Like to make that kind of a shot perfect is impossible. So the shot didn't really go by him. And even that picture of the bullet whizzing through the air is staged to make it more seem like it's real. He went down to the ground, cut his ear. There's enough time for him to do it, and he came up. It's a classic wrestling move. That's why when I saw it, I was like, man, he did a blade job. It's just like what I've seen Hulk Hogan, Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair do in the past. They all did blade jobs. I know when the guy goes to the floor, they've got their razor out, and they're just doing a little cut, and then they jump up, and their head's bleeding all of a sudden, and they're trying to act like it was because the guy threw his head off the ring post. You know, it's the same action. It's the same shit. Oh, yeah, let's keep going. All right, this is funny, man. This is good stuff. Let's see. Stargate saying they not like us is not about Canada or Canadians at all. It's about pushing FBA anti-black immigrant propaganda for political reasons. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what it is exactly. In some ways, I've always thought, like I said before, it's a statement about growing up in the hood. And if you didn't grow up in the hood, you're not like us, is basically what it is. In Southside Tallahassee, there's some crazy neighborhoods down there where I grew up. And some places I drove into those neighborhoods once and they said, you shouldn't be here, white boy. You need to get out of here with your Volvo. And I was like, okay, yeah. In some ways, that was them telling me, you're not like us. And if you come around here, you may get in trouble real quick. That's what I think it's about, honestly. And it doesn't necessarily have to do with light skin, dark skin, or white. It just has to do with, like, if you come from the inner city in this kind of environment of war zone, don't come down here because it's dangerous. And you're not like us, suburb kids from Killarn. You're not like us down here on Basin Street. And if you're from Tallahassee, you know exactly what I'm talking about right now. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And it could be applied to any metropolitan city. You could have Not Like Us emanate from Jane and Finch, and it goes towards Forest Hill. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying right there. If you don't know the struggle, if you don't know the landmines you have to dance around every single day that it could blow up in your face in a very violent, destructive way, then you're not like us, is what he's saying. Andrew's saying Lex's impressions are always so passionate. Man, I love doing impressions. I wish I would ask for more, though. Whether it's a song that you want me to sing or me just doing a wrestler or any kind of person that you guys are like, do something. I feel like I've done a pretty good Drake today. I feel like I've done an excellent Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair. I've done a few impressions today, and I thought like I've done pretty good. I did John Kreese for a little bit there, and I felt like that was a pretty good impression. I think I'm on today. So you guys get your impression requests in right now because I'm on fire today. I'm on fire. NBA Quick Takes is here. Quick Takes is back in the house. Y'all check out NBA Quick Takes. His channel is awesome. He's been putting out a lot of content recently. He's covering like fantasy players that you should get for your fantasy league. I'm sorry I didn't put you back in the league this year, Quick Takes, partly because you were a deadbeat manager last year and you didn't really keep up with your team. But man, great to see you back in the Raptor Freak stream, my friend. Always good to see you, my guy. Most Canadians don't understand anything about street politics, much less LA street politics. Mad at DeRozan for representing his culture is crazy work. Facepalm. I'm with you completely, 100%. When this first came out and the lyric by Lamar said, we didn't deserve him, I thought he was saying that to Canada, Toronto, the Raptors, because of what happened. And that was kind of what he was saying, because we sold him out and traded him to San Antonio. But the more I investigated this issue this summer, because it mattered to me, because DeMar DeRozan is somebody who matters to me in my life, I wanted to find out what the truth was. And I waited until I went overboard and went crazy or made some sort of rap single that's dissing Kendrick Lamar. No, I didn't do any of that like Drake did. I waited to hear from DeMar DeRozan's voice himself. When I had to say in interviews, especially around the book tour, I realized what the message of this really is and what he sees it as and what he feels and how he feels about Toronto. And even though Kendrick can say, I feel like Toronto didn't deserve DeMar DeRozan, well, DeMar DeRozan feels like he deserved Toronto and he feels like we deserved him. And that's the important part that matters. Kendrick can have his own opinion about whether we deserved DeMar DeRozan or not. Well, DeMar is very thankful for having Toronto in his life, even if it was ugly at the end and it hurt him immensely. And that dude's a champion of life. Like I said, Drake, you're not an op to him. The op to DeMar is his own mind and his own feelings and his own things and the things he's gone through and he's gotten over. And that's all evident in the book, Above the Noise. Go buy it today. Amazon, or not at Amazon. Go buy it anywhere else than Amazon. Get it anywhere else than there. Yeah. Yeah. Good to see you, Quick Takes. I hope I see you more often again, man. And y'all, seriously, give a follow and a subscribe to NBA Quick Takes and his YouTube channel. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Free crew. That Drake Lamar issue needs to be over before innocent bystanders get killed. Yeah, wasn't there an issue at your house, Drake, this summer where your bodyguard got shot because of somebody feeling like they want to take a shot at you for Kendrick? Yeah, nothing good can come from this. And in some ways, that's the other reason why I'm mad at Drake right now, is that you're bringing up something stupid that kind of went away and wasn't in the forefront or anybody's minds. And now you've done it again. So in some ways, you're making things at more risk, as Cool Cat is saying, that, you doing this kind of stupid shit could lead to somebody losing their life. And you want to play wannabe gangster and shit like that. Well, there can be real life gangster repercussions that you didn't foresee. And that's why it's irresponsible. what you said, if not unclassy, and if not rude, and if not egotistical and self-centered, what you said on our broadcast on Saturday night. That's right. That's right. Not just saying, oh shit, Popovich is in the hospital. What? No, I don't like this. I do not like this. We love Coach Pop, and I hope he's okay. Of course, he's come out very much and said some things about the election, very outspoken about this and stuff like that. Holy crap. So what happened? Mitch Johnson to coach the Spurs with Greg Popovich ill. Greg Popovich suffered a health issue before Saturday's game, and assistant Mitch Johnson is expected to be interim coach for an indefinite time. Popovich, 75, experienced a health situation before the Spurs win over the Timberwolves on Saturday night. Oh, man. I don't like hearing that. We love Coach Pop, just like DeMar does. I hate hearing something like that. So I hope he's okay. Stargate saying, that's a pretty good Dusty, Lex. You liking it? Yeah.
I'll tell you, brother, I'm the son of a plumber, and I came to this ring to dazzle you, baby. Woo! That's right, baby. Hi, man. And I'm going to come out to the ring, and I'll show you.
Woo! That's right. All right. Yeah. Blackhawk saying, no way. No way. And Andrew saying, what happened to Pop, man? Okay. Carla wants me to do Cat Williams. I don't really listen to Cat Williams. I don't like him. I feel like he's a controversial rapper that said some messed up stuff. Now, I get it. He's been outspoken on podcasts, and he's actually been on the forefront of this Diddy controversy and calling it out. And I commend him for that. But I don't like Cat Williams as a comedian overall. I've listened to him. He turns me off. In some ways, he's a bully. In some ways, he talks shit too much. And in some ways, I've never really respected him as a comedian. So to be honest, no disrespect, I don't know what he sounds like because I've never given him that much time of the day. So I can't do an impression of Cat Williams. I can maybe do like he do like that. That's about all I can do for him as far as things. Unfortunately, Carlo, because I'm not a fan of his. In some ways, I respect what he's done to call out Hollywood elites and some of the crazy shit that's been going on. That I respect him for more, but not his comedy. I think his comedy is cheap, and he's an insult comment, and he's not Don Wrinkles. He's not Triumph, the insult comic dog. No, in some ways, that he turns me off. I don't enjoy him. Let's just put it that way. Nako's saying Sham said he suffered a health issue on Sunday. Yeah, that's too bad. Prayers for Coach Greg Popovich, an icon in the NBA, the all-time winningest coach in the history of the NBA, and just one of my favorite coaches of all time, for sure. Yeah. Andrew saying, I hope he's doing all right. One of the greatest basketball minds ever, for sure. For sure. The longevity is unmatched, and, the excellence is unmatched also. Yeah. Let's see. Pops. Yeah. Prayers for him. Let's see. OTC. All right, hang on. Where am I in the comments? All right, here we are. Stargate saying, well, according to Jaguar Wright, who accurately predicted all this Diddy stuff 6 years ago, Jay-Z and Drake are next. I could see this. I could see this. It's weird because I kind of could see this Diddy stuff way back. Y'all remember the show Making the Band? Do you remember that show? It was on MTV. It was a reality TV show, and it was Sean Combs trying to find his next music proteges. And he'd have like this group of kids that were living in this house, and they were kind of like fighting with each other, but also spitting bars. I remember this guy that kept saying, I spit hot fire. I was like, this is the guy who came up with the whole saying, I spit hot fire. Well, I remember on that show, Sean being very inappropriate with the contestants, whether he was bullying them or abusing them. There was something where he kept making them go get donuts down the street, and they wouldn't be good enough, and he'd hit the box of donuts out of their hands. In some ways, that TV show is probably being introduced as evidence in some of the cases that are against him right now, because it shows a very outward, like controlling, abusive behavior on camera. He made people cry on that show in very ugly ways, and the real him was on that show. So it's very interesting to me, that part of the Diddy controversy. Now I'm wondering about Making the Band. Is that actually being used as evidence against him right now? Because at that time, it was uncomfortable for me to watch. I was like, damn, he's an asshole. Like, he is treating those kids really, really bad. And is he behind the scenes trying to fuck the women and the guys, apparently, on that show? That's crazy, man. That's crazy. I could see this happening because in some ways there was a lot of crazy parties. And, if that was what these guys were doing right around the turn of the century with crazy sex parties and just kind of stupid stuff like that, I could see a lot of other people getting in trouble. The right wing down south is trying to paint this as like a Hollywood conspiracy, people with Diddy sex parties and stuff like that. They're using it as a tool. But the truth is that Donald Trump went to Epstein's sex parties, and that he is just as guilty as Puff Daddy and all the rest of them. So if you're going to come with that action, Trump, MAGA people, realize your leader is in the middle of it all also, just so you know. Just so you know. Yeah, Carlos saying Drake probably called DeMar before the game and says, "I'm gonna dish you on TV, play along." It could be. It could be. I mean, that could be completely true, Carlo. That could be completely true. And DeMar's like, whatever, whatever. I mean, it's not gonna make Raptors fans like him any less, unless you're a Drake fan number one, which is stupid. Let's see. Stargate saying Secret Garden is a hell of a record. Top vocalists in one song: Barry White, Al B. Sure, El DeBarge, James Ingram. Yeah, he had a lot of nice guest vocalists on that album. Wow, that's an all-star lineup, man. Al B. Sure, Barry White. Hello, that's a baby making music. I'll bet that album is just, that'll make some babies. That's right. Carlos saying if Pop retires soon, how do you think this will affect Wemby's development? I think that Wemby, listen, I'm worried about Wemby in general. It's not even about Pop, whether he's there. I'm worried that Wemby is just not going to be the player that people think he's going to be, because in some ways it's not coming along the right way. In some ways, I worry about Wemby not, you know what? This is the thing that occurred to me the other day. Wemby has the same body type as Sean Bradley. He has the same body type as Manute Bol. And we've had players like this, not with the offensive skills of dribbling and shooting like Wemby, but we've had these players before in the past in the league. Sean Bradley, Manute Bol. What did they do as players in this league? Well, they had very good shot blocking. Sometimes Manute could hit a three. But for the most part, these guys were not top-notch stars because their lack of weight on their body made them very fragile and easy to push around. This was part of my criticism of Brendan Carlson, is that he's too easy to push around like Wemby, like Sean Bradley. So this may be the problem for, in some ways, is too much like Manute and Sean Bradley as far as their limits in the league and what they can actually do, because they don't have enough center of gravity or weight to their long, willowy frames. So this is the crazy thing. He can strengthen himself with yoga. He can strengthen himself and get stronger. But if he doesn't put any low center of his body weight on his body, he won't be able to hold position in the lane anywhere down low. And that's the crazy thing. Is like, yeah, we may have been bought and sold on a total idea of what Victor Wembanyama is, but it could very well be he's not going to live up to the promise because of what I just described. Do you see the parallels with Victor Wembanyama to Sean Bradley and Manute Bol? That is what I'm asking you guys right now. That's what I'm asking. Now, as long as he's in the Spurs, he'll be okay. Even if Popovich has to retire because of health, that organization has got a succession plan already in place. In some ways, there's been different talk about Steve Kerr leaving the Warriors to go and coach the Spurs next. There's been talk about Becky Hammon leaving the WNBA and the Las Vegas Aces and going to replace Popovich. It's a highly sought after coach's seat when Popovich steps out to be the next Spurs coach and carry on Popovich's legacy. It will be one of his acolytes. It will be somebody who was through his program, like Steve Kerr and like Becky Hammon. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see who it is. Could it be Mitch Johnson, who just took over for him right now? Very probably could be too. So there, they'll be fine, because even if Pop is not the coach anymore, he's going to be involved until the day he dies, and he'll be there giving instruction, just like number 21 Timmy Duncan was too. He's going to be around there helping him still, no matter what, because Spurs for life. Spurs. That's it. Yeah. Stargate saying at Carlo, I would put money that he did call DeMar and let him plan. And these fools actually acting as this is all somehow a real thing. Yeah. Don't be a mark. All right, fans. Don't be a mark. Take everything that Drake's saying and doing right now is like, it could be make-believe bullshit that they're just trying to do a little staged play for you. All right, don't be a mark on this. And anybody who's like getting so angry about this and mad at DeMar, where they like want to go and be a gangster or something like that, I'll catch you outside kind of bullshit. Yeah, give it up, man. Halloween was like 3 days ago. Stop putting on a costume and acting like you're something you're not. How about that? How about that? Boom goes the dynamite. Blackhawk saying, I had Secret Garden on vinyl. Miss it. Yeah, well, go get a copy. Find it digital on there. That's right. Mike saying, I went to Olive Garden once. Come on now. That's disrespectful to the great Quincy Jones that just passed away in his great album. Olive Garden's got breadsticks, from what I hear. Something like that. I don't know. Is this enough pepper, sir? Shh. Let's see. Trevor's saying, I remember when DeMar grabbed Brooks up on the court. Yeah, DeMar's a real one. He'll fight. It's not like if he gets into somebody, he's not backing down. We know on the court, DeMar was always feisty and he'd take it to them. There's some crazy ass dunks he did in Raptors jerseys that were full on taking it out on people. This is the thing. DeMar, once again, he defeated big, huge enemies in his life already. And one of them was his anger. When DeMar DeRozan started his career in the NBA as a Raptor, he was an angry, confused young man who took out all of his anger on the court. That's why whenever you saw DeMar, he had a frown on his face. He looked all pissed off. You can look at all the pictures of young DeMar. He was just unconsciously angry all the time, and he did not understand why. He went and got therapy. He figured out a lot of things, and he sorted through his emotions. But let's not get it twisted. There's still an anger that DeMar can tap into, and if he wants to in an NBA game, he can go off and throw it down on somebody's head. Oh, yeah. And if anybody's stepping to him, it's not like he's going to back down. Did he back down when he was a kid in Compton when people stepped to him then? No. Why would he do it now in the NBA? There's referees over there to pull him apart. There's referees over there to pull him apart, man. That's right. That's right. Really sad to hear about Quincy's passing. Thank you for the cutoff, Neil. I'm glad you did that. Monique is here. She just showed up after the cutoff. All right, classic card. Thank you, Trevor, for that. Let's do that right now. 11:06 is the time on the chat, and we will make sure we get to everything. And, you know, my streams are getting closer to 3 hours sometimes. It's fine. I don't care. All right, guys, here's a classic card. Don't half-ass me. Give me the full name. It is a classic one. So if you know who that player is, write their first and last name in, and you will get the classic card points. This is a throwback for sure. Look at that old Miami Heat logo. Look at that number 11. Don't look it up. If you know who this is, you know who this is. You should know this is just from looking at it, and that's it. It's very, very easy. So who do you think this is, guys? Who is this? Who is this classic here, like Smooth Brown Man, that can get this guard, as it says in the corner, the Miami Heat at this time? Nobody's guessing yet. Interesting. Mookie Blaylock, that's not right. Kareem Thomas, that is not right. That is not the original name of Pearl Jam, Mookie Blaylock. Tim Hardaway is not right. It's closer, though. Tim Hardaway is definitely a Miami Heat alumni and a point guard and a similar height to this guy. A good guess, UC, but you're just a little off. This guy is a favorite of Leo Routen's. Let's just put it that way. How about that? This guy is a favorite of Leo Routen's. He really liked this guy for certain reasons, and that may give it away right there. Isaiah Ryder, that's not right either, guys. My clue is really good, guys. Why would Leo like this guy? Think about that. Why would Leo think that this guy is an awesome guy and that he really, really was a big fan of him if he wasn't on the Raptors ever? And maybe because he had a connection to Leo in another way. Let's think about this a little deeper, and maybe it'll tell us. You know, we talked about this guy's teammate who played on the Miami Heat with him and also somewhere else the other day. We said that Shaq injured this guy that's a teammate of this guy's. We were going over, like we we're saying, whether Shaq was a dirty player or not. There were 3 players that somebody conveniently brought up that Shaq injured at some point during his career. And one of the players was the guy who played with this guy, both in college and in the pros. So, man, I'm giving you guys good clues right there. There you go. Cream got it. It is Sherman Douglas of the Orangemen. Syracuse Orangemen's Sherman Douglas is the right answer because that took a little teeth pulling. There's the 4 years of Syracuse. And that's why Leo's a big fan of his. It took a little bit. I'm going to give you a 150 because it took a little bit there. Let's see. Is David here? He was here for a second. He's gone. Oh, wait, he's back. David is back. David, I love you, man. Thanks for doing an updated score this morning on the trivia totals. Very, very good stuff. And I love your color coordination in this spreadsheet. It looks so pretty. It looks very pretty. All right, good stuff. All right, thank you, Kareem, for putting me out of my misery with the classic card and getting it. It's like, come on, guys, get Sherman Douglas, please, please. I can't do Cat Williams. I can only do that. That's my Cat Williams impression. Sometimes my impression is not fully fleshed out. It's like that. That's it. Trevor's saying Paul George will play against the Suns tonight for the Sixers. Okay, so he's going to have his debut for the Sixers. Let's see how this fit is. Seriously, let's see how it is. Is he going to step on Maxi's toes? I'm wondering about that. Stargate saying, despite all the rumors and sketchy stuff surrounding Quincy, he was a genius producer. He produced two of the greatest pop albums of all time, Thriller and Off the Wall. Yeah, yeah. Everybody who's in the elite, like famous, like Hollywood crowd, there's going to be weird shit in the behind the scenes that nobody knows about. The internet's made it more ways. It's just like in wrestling. The wrestlers were so crazy in the 80s, drugs and women and partying and fighting and all kinds of stuff, but there was no internet to report it on and put everybody's business out there. So I'm sure in Quincy Jones's heyday, way back in the day, some of those crazy big parties him and Michael had and stuff like that, there may be some weird stuff going on that wasn't exactly right. Yeah, Monique is here. Good morning, Raptor Free Crew. Go Raptors. Go Monique. Good to see you today. Mike's saying Cobra Kai, no mercy. Project Truth, Mike. Cobra Kai. That's right. That show's so weird, man. There's like different characters, like that Hawk kid. He's been on pretty much everybody's different teams. They switch around so much. And on that show, nobody can have like a healthy relationship. Everybody's always got a problem with somebody, and they're just wrenching it. Like there's like such father-son relationship issues all over the place with Johnny Lawrence and his son, Robbie, and all the other stuff. It's very interesting in some ways, the messaging from Cobra Kai. Very, very interesting. Happy game day to you, Monique. Good to see you. Kareem saying Drake will be there with DeMar during his jersey retirement. It's a rift in their relationship, but I'm sure they will make up and maybe do another SNL sketch together. I hope so. I'm all about healing and getting back together in peace and love and understanding. And I would like that, Drake. In some ways, that's a good role model for young people. It's not what you did on Saturday. So, Drake, be a better role model, is what I'm saying right now. Mike saying Tori gets the blood flowing for sure. Not gonna lie. Yeah, Mike is being a little, she gets the blood flowing. Yeah, there was an episode this weekend where she was wearing like a orange bathing suit. And I was like, okay, then. All right, then. Well, there you go. There you go. Blackhawk's saying, fuck, Lex, that's a great Twiggy. I love Twiggy, man. Hey, Buck, let's go to the Andromeda system. Why do we got to go there, Twiggy? Because I got to get new parts for my spark plug. In some ways, I love that you said that because that's a big honor, because that is one of the greatest voice artists of all time, Mel Blanc. And being able to do the voice of Bugs Bunny as Twiggy like that I get a lot of respect. That means a lot. Thank you for that compliment, man. Trevor's saying, Lex, you should let us know that you was doing the Young and the Restless show today with Drake and DeMar. Give me a heads up next time so I can tape it and watch it later. I never come into the stream knowing exactly what I'm going to talk about. Sometimes it's what you guys lay in front of me. Sometimes it's the thing that is in my head that's rolling around that I just have a burning desire to opine on. But yeah, I mean, the fallout from what Drake did is still happening. It's not like everything that was said came out but there's been aftermath and there's people reacting on social media. So in some ways to revisit it the second day after it is to kind of capture the responses of social media, Drake fans, DeRozan fans like us standing up for him and stuff like that. So that's part of it. But yeah, you want to DVR it next time. That's fine. Stargate saying Jakob needs to look no further than his own countryman, who is, I'm sure he knows, I'll be back. It's not a tumor. Get to the chopper. What happened to Sully? I let him go. Chill out, dickwad. Yeah, all the Arnold stuff. Yeah, of course. I mean, I don't know. Arnold's an actor. We don't want Jakob to be play acting. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, maybe Arnold could be an inspiration for him. Maybe from Commando. Kareem saying, Candice McClure from Battlestar Galactica hates me because of our one night fling. Laugh out loud. Okay, I do not know this reference, but it's interesting, non sequitur. Cowboys saying, thanks for my first win, Dunker Humper. Good luck, Boats and Logs. Game on, bro. All right, yeah, let's check Fantasy League since Bradley brought it up. We had the finish of our second week of the league, And the results are this. I had a narrow victory over the Boats and Logs, 4-3. Toronto Shamshays, Andrew goes to 13-1, beating our first champion Duke Rock 6-1. Wow. HC beating Cool Cat 6-1. Kareem lost 3-4 to Bradley, as was alluded just now. Duppy Conquerors with a 6-1 victory over Ivan. Meredith beating Team Canada, that's Gerald's team, 5-2. Kaz on the road lost to MJ. Fiercey getting the win this week. And then in the Saborin Brothers battle, David is the winner, 6-1 over Peter. Yeah, great week in the fantasy Rapid Freak Fantasy League. Keep your teams up and do what you got to do to win. Yeah, do whatever you got to do. No mercy. That's right, John Kreese. That's right. Alley-oop. Okay, alley-oop to Kareem for losing. No, we don't do that. Mike's saying, I don't know. We got the good and bad of super fans. Nav is the good one, and Drake is the other. Laugh out loud. It's a microcosm of the whole fan base. Yeah, I guess you're right. And, we fit in somewhere in there. Some people would say maybe we're a toxic part of the fan base. I don't like to think that. Some people have accused us of being toxically positive. That's fun. I love that. I'll be toxically positive about the Raptors. That's awesome. Is it toxic to be so in love with the Raptors? Maybe. Is it toxic to get up every morning and talk about the Raptors for 2 or 3 hours every morning? Maybe. I don't know. It's great. It's great. I love it. Yeah. Kareem saying, Cowboy, I'm tanking this fantasy season for number 1, Cooper Flag. Now, is there something I need to tell you, Kareem, about this? This is not a keeper league. And in some ways, I'm not keeping an account who finished where in the draft next year. I'm not going to pay attention and do that work. I'm sorry. So this is tanking for Cooper in our fantasy league is not advisable. Let's just say that. Cowboy saying, love you, bro, but fuck Cooper Flag. There's a white flag. Masai will find someone like him in the second round. Let's go, Raptors. Everyone enjoy the win tonight. Let's go, Raptors. There you go, Cowboy. I love it. Later, Raptor Freaks. Later, Bradley. Hope you have a safe day. Ta-da, baby. Let's go. Monique is saying, don't wait until last minute to show up tonight, Raptors. That's right. Don't be like Lex and be 10 minutes late like I was this morning. Yeah, that was no good. I apologize for that, guys. I'm very dependable at 9:30 normally, but Lex got up 5 minutes before 9:30, and he scrambled to get on live today. But, hey, look, I'm doing a pretty good job regardless. Cowboys got Mo on blast. I love it. Mischief saying Raptors are 1 win away for a play-in spot. Yeah, it's way too early in the season. So much to happen. And in some ways, I kind of don't want to make the play-in. I'd rather just be out at this point. But if we do make the play-in, that'd be fantastic, and we make some noise. The second half of the season will be interesting with the easier teams playing them, and maybe we can go in where we're very healthy, and we are actually coming up real quick and grabbing a spot right near the end of the year. That may make tank fans go crazy, and they'll be mad every time we win a game near the end of the season if we rise up all of a sudden and get into the playoffs somehow, some way. Because it may be that we don't look like we're in the playoffs because of our really bad schedule, the beginning of the year, and the injuries to Scotty and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden we're healthy next year and we're not in a place in the playoffs, but we start jumping over people and get into the playoffs by the end of the year. This could be very plausible, guys. And I don't want tank fans to get all pissed off because we're winning all of a sudden after we lost most of the year. Because I'd like to go ahead and get there. Yeah, that's right. Trevor's saying women's college basketball. Okay. If you guys are interested looking at WNBA new stars to come. Yeah, I'm not. You guys want to watch that game, Ole Miss versus USC? That's something that I can't cover that. You know how much I'm covering, Trevor. I got a NBA team, a WNBA team's coming, and a G League team that I cover very, very intensely. And man, I can't be watching college, men or women. Is what I'm saying right now. Cowboys got the guitar out. I love it. NBA Quick Takes saying enough respect, Lex. 100%. Back at you, man. I've missed you, Quick Takes. And you have a home on the Raptor Free channel anytime you want to come through, man. And y'all, seriously, give him a follow. I mean it. Kareem saying, Lex, do Macho Man Randy Savage impression. Don't forget to spin around in your chair. Oh, yeah. I can't do the spin while I'm sitting. And I don't want to change the camera angle, but I will definitely do a Macho Man.
Oh, yeah. Hulk Hogan, you thought you buried the Macho Man in that river down by St. Louis? Well, I'll tell you, brother, I crawled out of that river, and by the hand of the Macho Madness, I came back, and by the loving arms of Elizabeth, she brought me, healed my body in that SummerSlam, Hulk Hogan. I'm going to come after you. Oh, yeah. The key with Macho is you have to act constipated as possible. If you want to do a good Macho Man impression, just act like you're pinching the last bit of that loaf out. How about that? There you go. A little key on that one. That's right. I'm just saying Arnold Schwarzenegger and Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage, laughing my ass off.
Yo, brother, listen, Randy, I liked you, brother. You and my wife and your wife, we used to hang out all the time, brother. I used to have you go over to my house and you eat dinner with my kids, brother. What happened to us, brother? What happened to us, brother? You came and you Pearl Harbored me, man, from behind with the double axe handle off the top ropes. What you gonna do, brother? When Hulkamania comes run wild over you, Randy? Oh yeah. Well, nah.
Oh my gosh, it's so stupid. Oh my gosh. All right. My blood is rushing to my head after doing such roided up performances just now. Yeah, please. Hard cut off. Monique's got the hard cut off. Thank you. 215. Let's see. Fiercey saying, gotta go, fam. Enjoy the game later. All right, Fiercey, have a good day at work. And let's go, Raptors. Let's beat the Nuggets tonight. Most saying, congratulations to Tyler Marsh, the new head coach of the Chicago Sky. Yeah, that's not news to us. I don't care about that. Stargate saying, hang on. Where are we? We're right here. Stargate saying, yes, Becky Hammon needs to be the next Spurs coach after that. I think that it's likely. I think that was the plan, is that in some ways Pop was grooming her to be the next Spurs coach. And I think in down low, she kind of thinks that. I think that in some ways that was part of the reason why she didn't really take our job offer seriously. Because I think if she was going to come to the NBA and be an NBA coach, the first ever female NBA coach, she wanted to do it with the Spurs organization because the roots are all there. You know, the Aces were the Spurs WNBA affiliate when they were in San Antonio. They used to be the Austin Stars or something. And then they moved that franchise to Las Vegas. And she was the coach for the team when they were in Texas still. So this makes sense. And there's been a lot of overtures that this is what's happening. But there's also other people involved in this, in the hierarchy of old Spurs people that are in the coaching tree of Greg Popovich. Like Mike Budenholzer is another one. Even though he's coaching the Suns right now, he's somebody that has been said that he might have been the incumbent Spurs coach after Popovich also. Kerr, Budenholzer, Hammond. There's a few names out there. That's right. Let's see. Stargate said, I would have gotten it before Kareem, but timeout got you. Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, and somebody's got to get that right. Yeah. You were waiting to answer as well. Okay, well, I'm glad you guys got on it. Mischief got in there late too with this Sherman Douglas of the classic card of the day. Sherman Douglas was a short point guard, kind of a chunky guy, but he was effective. And he was very important to the Miami Heat early in their franchise. Very, very important. Mike's saying, who's your daddy and what does he do? Laughing my ass off. Kareem saying, we are literally the best last place team I've ever witnessed. We're not technically in last place in the standings. There are teams that are right there with us and tied. But I would say because we beat Philadelphia, they're below us, right? Right? Although we have 2 wins. They have 2 wins too. No, there's a team that has only 1 win in the East. And we're above them. So let's see. Race mode's here. Good to see Edmund. Oh, I was actually tanking my fantasy for ping pong balls, but Lex fired me. Let's go. See, there's another team I kicked out. Relegation. Let's just call it relegation, Edmund. That's what happened. You got relegated. And maybe if you're going to come correct next year, maybe you can get your team back next year. That's right. This is what we're doing. We're trying to get y'all more competitive. That's right. You have to look around, Lex. Oh, you mean like Macho Man?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Elizabeth, bring me my robe. Oh, yeah. Step into a Slim Jim.
Mike is saying the process failed and showing rotting culture is hard to change into winning a chip. Tanking often doesn't work. Yeah, and even Embiid, like the foundation and the roots of his character and who he is exactly who he is right now. And that's just what it is. You get what you get. like Joel Embiid got. And Jack Armstrong pointed out. And Sixers fans hate when I say that. I know they do. If Sixers fans watch me and they hear me say the words, you get what you get, yeah, they get really pissed about that. I know they do. Thanks for the cutoff, Monique. And Mike saying, "Who's your daddy?" is a famous Arnold line. Oh yeah, that's from the one where he's pregnant or something, isn't it? Junior, is that where it's from? I always like, it's not a tumor. It's not a tumor. All right, let me do the Instagram stories real quick. We got the Raptors showing highlights from the other day. There's a game day, baby, with Chris Boucher. Young Oach has got the highlights of him coming down the court, Mitchell throwing it to him and doing that two-handed dunk in the lane. That's the one where he could have done a Vince Carter tribute, but he just threw it down easy, basic two hands. Emmanuel Quickly is putting on blast Grady Dick for an amazing layup he made against Jason Tatum in the preseason, where he just flipped it over Jason's hand outstretched, just getting it just barely on the finger roll off the glass into the hoop. It is very beautiful and picturesque. And of course, being against Jason Tatum's awesome. There's a clip of RJ Barrett in black and white, taking apart LeBron and the Lakers. Emmanuel Quickly putting his teammates on blast on his IG stories right now. Here's one of Chris Boucher doing he did that the other night. In some ways, he was doing tributes to Vince. He really did take the Vince Carter night very seriously. Chris Boucher, as a Canadian kid, and the Carter effect was felt on him. And there's a highlight of Davion Mitchell also there. All right, let's see. What else do we got? There's Monique putting on blast the Vince Carter mural at Queen Street. I like to see that. Jacoby Walters got Grady Dick on blast, putting him, making a shot in the lane. And there's RJ Barrett getting fired up on his, RJ's in the league leaders in scoring in the NBA. He's like 8th in the NBA in scoring, in the top 10 of all scorers. That's really awesome. I love seeing that. Jacoby's saying, trust God's timing. What's meant for you will never miss you. Now, yeah, I know Marquise said that stuff too. Yeah, just stay in a Raptors jersey, Jacoby, because hopefully you're going to be really, really good and you're going to play for the Raptors for a long, long time. I'll say that. I'll tell you what, freedom is to me, no fear. There you go. Have no fear on this web. Do what you're going to do, Walter. We're looking forward to seeing you expand your game more and more. Jonathan Mobo on his Instagram's got the Vince Carter coming to the back and giving the chain to the Grady Dick, that little clip. And there he is putting Grady Dick on blast also on his Instagram. Miles Burns is working hard out in the 905 for the Mississauga team. He's getting ready for this season. Training camp was last week, and they're going to start getting ready, and we're going to have games with the 905 starting next week, guys. So I'm going to be doing double duty very soon when we get back from this West Coast trip. Yeah, 905 is going to be in full effect, and we're going to be covering those games too. There's Slim Duck in the lineup for the anthems before the game on Saturday night with his head down, listening to that Canadian anthem. Jamal Shed showing Grady Dick's dunk against the Charlotte Hornets last week. Let's see. There's Bruno Fernando celebrating Vince Carter's retirement. Of course, he was a teammate with Vince on the Atlanta Hawks. And, he wanted to celebrate that banner going up. And once again, the reviews about our banner for Vince are off the charts. Everybody's saying that we have changed the game for retirement banners, and the face on there, it means so much. Now, I knew they were kind of going to do this because if you look at the Leafs banners, all of the face of the great Leafs are on their banners of retirement there. So it makes sense. And there's Vince crying like crazy and hugging his children. It is really emotional. And in some ways, it makes you feel for him, just how much the passion and the emotion Vince expressed during this whole thing. It does mean a lot to me, man, because it shows it matters to you, bro. It shows that it matters to you. There's the real Mo Pete backstage with a bunch of the former Raptors, his teammates, Nat Bhatia, Tracy McGrady, Muggsy, and Charles, and Alvin, and D Brown, and AD, and all them all together. It's so cool to see that cohort of Raptors from that era to be all together. Mo Pete, you're a real one. We love you, man. We love you so much. Yeah, putting on blast Vince's ceremony and the jersey. In some ways, as Vince said, this jersey going up is not just for me. It's for all of us. He means his teammates too. This is for Kevin Willis. This is for D Brown. This is for the JYD. This is for Keon Clark. Why not? Why not? They were a part of his success and what he did for sure. Yeah, there's some great pictures of Vince and JYD with different young fan. And there's the 905, the Raptor. They're saying it was his birthday yesterday. It was only because the Raptors were born yesterday on the November the 3rd, 1995. And there's your Instagram stories real quick at the end of the stream real quick. I have to make sure I do them. I'm obligated to do them. Here real quick, news from around the NBA.
Apparently, Bobby Portis's house was burglarized while he was playing in a game in Milwaukee on Saturday night. The Bucks were losing and getting their butt kicked by Cleveland, and then Bobby Portis went home and found that people had burglarized his home and stole all his possessions. He went on Instagram and social media to plead to the community of Milwaukee, and basically said this is a place I've considered home. While I was at my game yesterday, I had a home invasion, and they took most of my prized possessions. This is awful. In some ways, the way his language sounds like is he's turned off from being in Milwaukee at this point. He's been a loyal guy for the Milwaukee Bucks and done some good things for them in battles over the years. But now the community is going to come and rob him and steal his stuff from his house. Man, it sounds like Bobby Portis is not feeling so great about Milwaukee, whether it's on the court and the way they're losing right now, or the way that they came in and burglarized his house. This is awful. And in some ways, I would hate something like this to ever happen to one of our Raptors here in this city. And hopefully they have good security and they won't allow this. Some of the fans are saying that they think the burglary at Bobby Portis Jr.'s house on Saturday night was an inside job, and that there's somebody in his entourage that actually is responsible for it happening. So in some ways, you may need to check your people, Bobby, just so you know. The thing that I think the most closest to this that happened in Toronto is Mitch Marner getting carjacked in Etobicoke one night. As far as being a Leaf player, he's driving, he's at a stoplight, and guy comes to his window with a gun. This kind of stuff is bad. Crime is bad. And honestly, Milwaukee, this is horrible. This smacks of kind of like, it's not the same thing. Bill Russell and Celtics fans breaking in his house while he's on a road trip and smearing racial epithets all over his wall and breaking all his shit. You know, this is not a good look, Milwaukee. That you guys are out there robbing, this guy. Yeah, as I said, RJ Barrett is currently 8th in the NBA in points per game right now. That's a big deal, guys. That's a big deal. When's the last time a Raptor was in the top 10 in scoring in the NBA? Seriously, when's the last time that happened? That's right. Kareem saying, I can't believe Elizabeth slept with Hulkster. Absolutely traumatized me. You know, there is a blurring of reality and fakeness in that it could have been true. You know, there was a period of time where Randy and Elizabeth were on the outs, and Elizabeth came to stay with Linda and Hulk in Tampa. And this was a time when there was a huge rift between Randy and Hulk. There is really, truly a superpowers explosion between them. As far as like the whole storyline and stuff like that, they were friends to an extent, but also very much a real life beef that was not fake and was very real. There was a lot of animosity between Hogan and Savage before he died. And in some ways, Hogan has sadness about not making things up with Randy on the down low. People don't know that. But yeah, there may have been something that actually legitimately happen. But it wasn't around when they were doing it on Saturday Night's Main Event and doing the whole breakup of the Mega Powers. It was later that maybe Hogan did get with Elizabeth in real life, seriously. And it may have had something to do also with part of this disintegration of Linda and Terry's marriage, just so y'all know. Isn't that crazy? Mike saying Kindergarten Cop, I believe, was the movie that was in. Kindergarten Cop, not Junior. Okay. Mike saying, remember the league calling RJ's contract a toxic asset? Yeah, Masai's on the next level. Now, Masai's winning every day. All he does is win no matter what. I mean, that's just how it is. Jalen McDaniels, second day of the draft. The OG trade is really like Knicks fans are really crazy right now. The controversy in New York is that the Knicks fans are looking at OG's stat line and they say this isn't worth the money in his contract. Well, they conveniently aren't looking at the defensive side. You know, Knicks fans that know basketball understand OG's worth that money, but there's a lot of dumbass Knicks fans that are probably more offensive oriented that don't value OG for that money. And they're really mad because they're seeing what RJ's doing for us. And they're seeing that he's absolutely more efficient than he was on New York. And they're like, what the fuck did we do? We traded IQ and RJ for this guy. And this guy can't even get us 20 points. That's really kind of what's going on in Knicks Nation. They're second guessing the OG trade that RJ's doing so well for us. And in some ways, OG's not struggling. OG's doing what he always did. He's playing a very top-notch defense that's an absolute game changer. But there's uneducated New York Knicks fans that are idiots that don't understand the value of OG Anunoby. I'll let them go ahead and cause controversies.
in their little sphere of fandoms and just be uneducated and stupid because their toxic noise is idiotic around that fan nation right now. So I'm all about it. I'm all about hearing this. Yeah, Masai did win that trade. He won it as soon as Malachi Flynn was involved in it. That's right. That's right. That's right. Right there. Stargate saying my 7-year-old daughter loves the Macho Man. That's awesome. You know, your 7-year-old daughter wasn't alive while he was alive because he's been dead for over 10 years now. So that's his legacy lives on. That's amazing. I love that. You know, he's a misunderstood guy. In some ways, he was very kind of ratcheted up and crazy. He was a little abusive towards his wife, even when in real life. Like he would lock her in the closet in the back if he had to wrestle and she wasn't in the match, just so the other wrestlers wouldn't get near her or talk to her. So he was very overprotective of Elizabeth in real life. That character that was on TV was kind of an exaggeration of him in real life, but not really in some ways. So, you know, Randy's a complicated person. The one thing I will say is he's a real wrestling legend because he grew up in the business under his dad, Angelo, and the ICW was an outlaw promotion. And he really did believe in the business and the family business, and he stayed true to it. A lot of people that knew Randy behind the scenes in real life knew the real person, and they think he was an awesome guy. So he's a controversial, complicated person. Let's just say, then the separating the persona of Macho Man Randy Savage from the real person, it's difficult at times. It's difficult at times. Now, they've done biographies on him in the recent years, and they've absolutely tarnished him and made him sound like an abusive person. But I don't think that that's totally the truth, because in some ways, Elizabeth would probably tell you that Randy was not ever that bad to her if she wasn't passed away herself. Yeah. Stargate saying, remember, Milwaukee is historically a known hub for the KKK. Well, they have a video image of the guys who broke in. Bobby's putting it out there, and it looks like they're young urban youths. Let's just put it that way. I don't know their color. I don't know, but they were guys kind of wearing toques and, you know, long hoodies and long fat pants and stuff like that. I mean, they could be white or black. I don't know. I'm not trying to say the color. I'm just saying that they didn't look KKK. That's it is. Yeah. Stargate saying, so was Tallahassee as well. Tallahassee, yeah. And I'll also say this. Y'all may not know this, but Oakville was a hotbed of KKK, just so y'all know. Oakville, Ontario. Yeah. There's a history in Oakville of it being very much a KKK community, just so y'all know. Yeah, no, that's the. I mean, I'm not going to hide the racist history of this continent, and entities like KKK and skinheads. They need to be put on blast and put out in the light, and not poo-pooed, because some ways the KKK is in hands with the law enforcement. And in some ways, they need to be brought out. That's right. Tallahassee was part of the KKK. Yeah. There's still KKK there, honestly. Yeah, I know growing up there. Mischief saying, if RJ keeps the scoring up, he might start getting to the foul line more often. Yeah, part of his problem is he's got the Shaq thing, where Shaq got fouled every single play he touched the ball, but he's so strong, he doesn't flinch or take it. In some ways, he doesn't notify the ref that he's taking contact. And he's so good at finishing through the contact. They're like, well, he made it anyway. We don't need to call it. That's part of the issue with RJ and not getting the calls. He's such a strong player that they're like, well, he doesn't need us. You know, the weak ass like flailing and stuff like that. RJ's not. He's going through it and he's executing. And often he'll make it. He just deserves more and ones, is what it is. He deserves more and ones. Mike saying the pieces are falling into place. We can see the plan. Once healthy, we can see where we're at in the plan. Yeah, and it's awesome. I like that we're competing with some huge major pieces of our team out. Like we're competing and we're playing against teams like mostly healthy too, and competing with them. And these are teams that are playoff teams. So yeah, this is very, very bright. Very, very bright future. All right, let me wrap up the show real quick with the Future So Bright sunglasses on real quick. All right, guys, tonight, these are the injuries. So right now, right at this moment, Bruce Brown is out. He's already ruled out in Monday's game. He'll remain out for multiple weeks, according to Blake Murphy. Quickly is doubtful for tonight's game due to his pelvis. Scotty is out. He's seen the specialist today to take a look at his orbital bone and see if it's going to require surgery or not. We probably will get news about Scotty maybe this afternoon, more specifically about his timeline. And Kelly Olynyk is still out for a few weeks because of his back, unfortunately. On the other side of things, there are some injuries for the Nuggets. They will be missing Vlatko Kankar. He's doubtful tonight. Probable is Aaron Gordon. It's his knee. Jamal Murray is already ruled out. He's in concussion protocol from a hit that he took this past week. And Deron Holmes is out for them. The referee crew is Mitchell Irvin, Drake lover. Not very much a lover of Drake myself at this point. Murat Kugat, the magician. Fuck you, man. And Matt Myers. This crew technically favors the Nuggets. They really, really do. There's a even on Matt Myers, and then Kugat and Mitchell Irvin both favor the Nuggets in the long run. Okay, let me see. Did I miss anything else in my tabs? And we'll get out of here. I appreciate everybody being here with me for 2.5 hours this morning and the fun we have on the Raptor Freak stream. Always good stuff and good times. No birthday today, guys. Unfortunately, sorry to say. I hope that Greg Popovich gets better as soon as possible. I say rest in power, Quincy Jones. And yeah, Drake, shut the fuck up is what I got to say on that last part. All right, y'all. Let's go, Raptors. Let's beat the Nuggets tonight. Can we get a little get back for last week? The players have been saying the last couple of days they are really relishing the chance to try and even the the record with the teams that have beat them recently. The Kings, the Nuggets, the Lakers, and the what's the other team? Well, the Nuggets and the Lakers, at least on this road trip, try and even it up from losses from them recently. It's really nice we're getting to play them again so soon. So hopefully we can do something. With Murray out, who knows? Maybe. And maybe our guys come back, and maybe we see the mettle of our coach in adjustments in the tape from last week. He sees some things that he can add to things, and it helps us win better tonight because of adjustments. We'll have that. That's right. Hornets. Yeah, I don't think we're playing the Hornets again. I would have said them, but they're not one of the teams. The thing is that was the Kings, but we beat the Kings. So we don't really need to get back against the Kings on the trip, but it'd be nice to get 2-0 against the Kings this season by beating them in their arena later this week. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me. I'll be back tomorrow with the reaction to the Denver Nuggets game late tonight. It's coming in at 10 p.m. Eastern, which old time is 11 p.m. Eastern. So these guys got to play 4 hours later than what they're naturally used to right now. Hopefully they're not tired. Hopefully they're taking long naps. Maybe they're even sleeping right now. That would be good. Raptors, if you're in bed still sleeping right now, you got a long time before the game. So go ahead and take a long rest this morning. All right, y'all. Let's go Raptors. And remember, I wear these glasses because with the Raptors and their roster, the future is so, so bright. Let's go Raptors.